everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And a reminder, there could be some things we bring up as we talk about this episode that come up in future episodes. Why? Why, you ask? Because it's not spoiler-free. This podcast is not spoiler-free. I am Melissa, and I am here with my creative co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
I am good today. Got a little less sleep than I wanted, which tends to mean we'll do good things.
Yeah, folks, that means awesome podcast. Great. Well, what are we talking about today? We're talking about season 3, episode 16. It's Raining Men. This originally aired May 16th, 2001. It was directed by Lawrence Trilling.
Yay.
Written by, yeah, I know, right? Written by John Eisendrath, Julie Blumberg, and Joy Gregory. And here's the episode description. Chest pains force Javier to spend a few days in the hospital, and he leaves Felicity in charge of the coffee shop during finals. Sean and Megan see a counselor, Terry Garr, to discuss their relationship. Meanwhile, Elena tries to mend fences with DeForest. Okay. Fish, how do you feel about this episode where they introduced the biggest valve in the world? J.J. Abrams really loves his, big wheels and his big valves and his big... And I just remember this episode as, do valves like that really exist?
They
in
do.
Coffee shops? They do? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Like your water shut-off valve. I mean, in a regular home, right, it's like the handle with the red, I don't know, cover on it, and you turn it off. But, yeah, I mean, for a whole sprinkler system, I mean, sometimes it's just a big wheel. Sometimes it's a valve like that the fire department has to turn off. But, yeah.
Wow.
I think that was accurate.
Like this was really J.J. Abrams starting to get into his wheelhouse because, yeah, you like that? First thing I think of when I see this valve is just the giant Lost wheel. For those who haven't seen Lost,
there's a wheel in it.
There's a wheel in it. It's fun. I don't know how much of a spoiler there's a wheel. I mean, okay, they're trees. Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, what are you spoiling them? It's a different show.
Yeah. Well, so valves, huh? Valves. That's
controversy.
I know. Now, am I burying a lead? Maybe. What lead am I burying? You think, Fish?
What strikes you strikes you.
Yeah.
So I do want to start off by saying, just in case there are any expectations, there will not be a "you're the worst" at the end of this one. And it's because, I mean, this episode it surprised me. It crept up on me. There were some very shitty things that people did and said, but I felt like, at least if there was a theme for this for me, it would be kind of redemption, redeeming moments. I feel like all of the characters redeem themselves by the end of the episode, and they did it by becoming vulnerable and honest. And I don't think that they deserve to be put in a "you're the worst" category.
Wow. Okay. Crossing out "you're the worst" on our segment plan.
Right.
Folks, if that's your favorite segment, we don't have anything for you this time, and you're going to have to deal with it. Maybe we're the worst, okay?
Yeah. I mean, I could be the worst for not having a "you're the worst."
Or
segment.
Maybe I'm the worst for, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's okay. All right.
Look, my default would have been Molly, but even she has her redeeming moment.
I've got to say, okay, I hear your point about redeeming moments, but there's a lot of non-redeeming moments.
Yeah, but you have to have a moment like that in order to have a redeeming moment, right?
It's true.
which is what I think they were doing with a lot of these people. And
Okay.
so, yeah, as I said, it crept up on me. This was a very interesting episode, I think, for me.
I don't know. I wonder if maybe I would still give Felicity a year the worst here. That's just a theory I'm positing. Let's see where it lands. That is an unpopular thing that I said that I just said so easily. It just came out like that was perfectly fine. I understand that as much feedback as we've been getting about these last few episodes, nobody seems to want to talk about Felicity except one person who recently commented.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
but like literally, it's like, oh, Ben is doing Knowles, Avery shouldn't be. And then it's like, but have you been watching what Felicity's doing? Seeing
Yeah,
a little shady,
a little
maybe a
bit.
little more than a little shady. I don't know.
Yeah.
Toying with emotions, one might say. I don't know.
It all comes down to how much you think she knows and when,
I
which,
think I think watching this episode rooted me and she didn't really know what was going on before this, but that makes no excuse for where she is this episode for me, where yeah, she's living in a dream world. She is living in an absolute dream world and it hurts everybody.
yeah,
Uh,
but I do think she gets her moment as well. But I wouldn't say that it changed anything for me. So I think we
yeah.
do have to go in order.
Okay, fine.
And Noel did just kiss her at the end of the last episode. And so apparently
Yeah.
she does what she does. And at the start of this episode, she is fleeing. She has fled. And they are out on the street and she is running away from Noel.
I
And
guess this
he's,
is sort of like the this sort of brought up the image for me of the last episode we saw Greg in. I know that the scene was different, but after, you know how like we close an episode with Greg punching Ben in
mhm,
Epstein bar, and then the next episode opens with Felicity running to catch up after him, and Greg's like, "This
mhm,
isn't it. Sorry, this is not it." This felt in a way like it referenced that for me, but mirror imaged it,
mhm.
where it wasn't a fight, it was a kiss. And then it's Felicity running away and it's Noel catching up and not like, I don't know. For some reason, it brought that image up for me, but maybe just,
I could see that.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're outside on the street and they're having a conversation. And yeah, Noel is just running after Felicity apologizing.
Yeah.
And she I think she starts off pretty well here. She's like, "Look, I'm with Ben. I have nothing to reveal. Like, really, do you have something you want to tell me?"
Which is just the stupidest question, though, because it's like, yes,
Of
yes, he
course.
has something to tell you.
And yet,
It just happened.
right. Well, but she calls that out because Noel is like, "No, I don't know why I did that. That was like stupid and it, didn't mean anything." I mean, he sort of implies like it wasn't a thing. And can we just go back to like whatever was before? And she's like, "No, you just kissed me."
Well, this is the weird thing about this conversation where they sort of flip position because it actually starts with Felicity saying, let's just forget about it. Let's forget it happened. And Noel's like, no, let's not forget it happened because if we don't talk about it, you're going to be angry. You're going to have resentment about it.
Yeah.
And then she does talk about it and he's like, he clams up.
Yeah.
So it is this really weird dance that they're doing here. Um,
Yeah, I mean, she starts to get mad when they're trying to talk about it. And it goes south pretty quickly
yeah.
where, Noel, while he did clam up and he doesn't actually come out and say, "I've been in love with you forever," which is what he's thinking inside,
Mm-hmm.
um, he starts to get mad about the situation. And she's like, "I just want it to be normal." And he's like, "What is normal? Like, what are you talking about?" She's like, "Friends." And he's like, "That's not what has been going on."
Yeah,
Like
like I
if
haven't
you,
been friends with you for a really
yeah,
long time.
like
Um,
this is not friends. And I mean, I still think she has in her heart known this for quite a while. And I don't know. So I don't like how she says, oh, so this whole year has been a lie. It's like, first of all, like you've been with someone else. He could have done this earlier. Is that what you wanted? And you've been kind of playing around with this anyway.
mhm.
Um, and Noel is going to kind of grow a backbone during parts of this episode and just basically say, yeah, maybe, you know, this
Yeah.
this is not a friendship, and if that's what you thought it was, and you want to call that a lie, yeah,
Well,
maybe.
he doesn't respond to her question here, but I think they've already set that up because he's, for her to say I want to be normal, he's like, this is normal.
Yeah, this
I've been
is
in love
this
with
is the
you.
normal,
This is what
right?
normal looks like. And for her to say, is it a lie? I think it's rhetorical enough at that point because it's already been established that she did not understand what was happening. But
Well,
I
he
guess,
responds. He does say, yeah, well, maybe.
yeah, well, I think, I guess I think you can make a case either way with how much Felicity is understood about this situation before this episode. Like, I think in the world where you think, like, basically in my world and your world that we've been arguing, in the last however many episodes, if you're thinking that Felicity doesn't get it, I think this conversation seems to support that. And then, well, this conversation seems to support that. If you're thinking that she kind of has known what's been going on this whole time, although this conversation doesn't necessarily seem to support it, I do think that later in this episode, as she continues to be in la la land about all this, like, but can't we just pretend it's normal still? I think that would go to sort of back up the claim that she now has like incontrovertible proof that this is some more than friendship for Noel. And yet, I think she's making, maybe she's in denial about it in this episode where she just keeps trying to pretend like the dynamic is what it's been. Um, so I think, I don't know if this changed your view on it, Fish, but I think I can look at this episode and I can make a case for either situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think this conversation supports her knowing it the whole time just as much as anything else. I mean, she starts out by just like, he's just kissed her, and she's like, let's just ignore it. Like, that's not Felicity, right? So she always wants to talk. So then when they actually start to talk, and she's like, just say it already. And he won't say it. And she gets frustrated, and he gets frustrated, and I think she's scared because if he is going to say it, then like, what is she going to do? I mean, she's very clear with, I'm with Ben, we're friends. Like, that's what I'm saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she knows that he has felt this way. I think it's, you know, kind of scary to her that he would come out and do something. Um, I don't think she was expecting that. I don't think she was expecting the kiss. I think she was maybe just hoping it would continue along in the way it has been, where she could have them both and, have him as like emotional support and someone who, is really into her and yet be dating Ben. Um, I yeah, this first conversation is not good for Felicity. It's I think what many of the characters go through, which is they do something shitty and then they have to be redeemed for it, or they end up in a place of redemption. And so I think this whole year has been a lie, and the wounded look on her face is just kind of a shitty move on her part. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's really feeling it. I mean, I do think in a way she did feel kind of, I don't want to say violated, but um, like kind of hurt by the fact that he would actually kiss her. Like she thought there was a line there where like he was just gonna be the guy who like loved her from afar, and that was gonna be his thing. Uh, and that's not the role he wants to play,
Mm.
clearly.
Okay.
Um,
Fair
so
enough.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna head over. So Felicity keeps walking. She
Oh
keeps
yeah.
walking from this scene to the next scene, and we're gonna turn up at Dean and Deluca, where Ben is working.
Hmm.
Felicity wants to initiate a conversation here because she's seeing that there might have been some truth to some of the concerns Ben was raising. Um,
And she
and
uses
she
your
initiates an
favorite.
apology.
Yeah, she uses your favorite phrase.
Can I talk for a second? Can I talk to you for a
Yeah.
second? Yeah, we get one of those, but this is maybe the one situation where it's not bad news. Except it's bad news, and she's
Yeah.
just not sharing the bad news,
The
is the
same way
thing.
Ben didn't with Avery.
Yeah. So Felicity is culpable now, right? She feels guilty, or I don't know if she's culpable, but she feels guilty. She's seeing the point, uh, and she initiates an apology to Ben, where she's like, can we just start over? You know, sometimes things happen. It's fine. It's
Right.
like,
This is where I think she
okay,
was scared. And so
yeah.
she kind of fled from Noel to Ben and basically was like, okay, like, let me re cement this. Doesn't matter what Noel or Avery want. Like,
Hmm.
it's about us. Like, let's just make up, and I'm not going to tell you about what just happened.
It's kind of the reverse. I guess her behavior to me is kind of the reverse of when at the end of season one, Ben kisses her, you know, when he moves the chair back real quick and then he like goes and kisses her and she has the flight reflex and she leaves the room. And the first thing she does is go to Noel's room and be like, let's go to Berlin. Um,
Yeah.
I guess in that situation, there was more of a conflict for her in like inner turmoil, but I think of her own doing. But I think in this situation, it read the same to me as like Noel just kissed her, and now she's gonna like lock in place some makeup with
Right.
her boyfriend. You know, I
And
guess,
I think
yeah.
there's inner turmoil there. I still feel like it's not it's not to the same extent, um, or it's not exactly the same inner turmoil. It's, I would say, a more selfish inner turmoil. She doesn't want to lose Noel.
Well, I mean, in the season one situation, she wasn't actually with either one of those boys.
Yeah.
Um, she was, they both wanted her to go on a trip, but neither were actually her boyfriend in that moment, I don't think.
Mhm.
So it was a little bit more of like a who do I want sort of situation. Whereas in this, that choice is made. You know, she's in a relationship with Ben and you
Except
know,
what, I mean, what was all this stuff with Avery and she went out there to, go see him, and Avery had kissed him, and they were in kind of this weird place. So I think the two mirror each other
yeah, and I think that the
more than not.
reality of that is why Felicity has to rush to do this kiss and makeup thing with Ben because it's like There's nothing that I just accused you of that I was really hurt by that I haven't just done myself. I mean, yeah, Ben went to Southampton, but while doing that, Noel was making her a romantic dinner for two
Mm-hmm.
at the apartment.
Yep.
So I guess the physical location change of it all, it boiled down to the same thing. And if anything, Noel was spending more time with her than Ben was spending with Avery because he was spending so much of that time alone. And Noel was kept making beelines to come to Felicity's rescue. So anytime Felicity wasn't running off to have a conversation with Ben, she was with Noel.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's well, you really can't hold a grudge about the one kiss that Ben had because oops. Well, I guess that just happened for me. So, all right, let's just let bygones be bygones. We're fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. This is such a brushing under the rug sort of situation here from her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very similar to the one that Ben did. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I guess
the
they're
two
both
of
happy
them.
to just, I mean, Ben's happy to make up. They seem like
Yeah, he's
they're
happy to
ready to
make
move
up
forward.
without knowing what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
then
that's
they're
going
going to
to
get
be interrupted.
interrupted. Yeah.
Yeah, Javier's having chest pains, and he
Hmm.
thinks he's having a heart attack. And I put a question mark next to that. I was like, this is probably a panic attack. But he feels like he needs to be rushed to the hospital.
Yeah. Felicity's going to ask Ben to call a cab and they're going to get him to the hospital. So, next thing we see is Javier actually at the hospital on his own. He's bargaining with God.
Yes.
And I just thought I'd list for all of us the offers he makes.
Okay.
If he makes it through, if God will allow him
In
to make it
exchange
through.
for his life.
Yeah. Number one, Javier's going to work out every day, weights and cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is no more bad mouthing of Consuela.
Nope.
That's not going to happen anymore. Number
Mm-mm.
three, he's going to tell Samuel about the Milky Ways in the closet.
Yes.
And number four, he's going to go to confession.
Even though the priest has pretty bad BO.
Yeah. Um, this is really quite the laundry list of varying levels of important things. I just love that for me, what makes this list is I'm going to tell Samuel about the Milky Ways in the
Yes.
closet. Because, it's on his mind, right? That's it. That's what he's thinking about. I'm glad Samuel got worked in there somehow. It's been a minute since we've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like the wedding.
yeah. Felicity is going to come in. She did reach Samuel, who we will never see in this episode. Where's
Nope.
Samuel, guys? Who's to say?
He is abroad. He's on a plane back.
Guess so. The only way to explain not paying, all right, Felicity's at his bedside. That's the rule. Javier has some instructions. First of all, he's thinking about the aftermath of all of this. He wants Felicity to have his cashmere sweaters.
Yes.
Fish, what do you think? How do you feel about
I
that?
think they are not going to fit her.
Okay.
But also, definitely an improvement over season one sweaters. But Felicity has upped her sweater game. I feel like perhaps that this collection will not be her go-to.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So the doctor is going to come in, and as Javier is starting to relay his wishes, he's interrupted by the doctor who says, "All right, I don't think this was a heart attack, but it might be nothing. It seems like you maybe have an arrhythmia. We just want to admit you for observation. We just want to see what's going on here." And of course, Javier starts to panic. Felicity's like, "It could be nothing."
Yeah. He's definitely having what I think is an overreaction. I think we're maybe most of us are on board with this. You have now heard it's not a heart attack.
Hmm.
You have a slight arrhythmia. Um, it's probably okay.
Yeah.
But I do love what he asks for because, I mean, a lilac gown, yes,
Hmm.
absolutely, 100%. That is really what you want in a hospital. You want something to make you feel pretty and slim and comfortable. So I am all about that. What I am not about is I think I mean, he starts showing her the keys to like his apartment and all these other places. Dean and Deluca, I assume. He's got a rabbit's foot on his keychain.
Okay.
And he doesn't strike me as the rabbit's foot type. Maybe if it's a fake rabbit's foot, but I don't feel like he would be okay with a bunny foot on his keychain.
Okay. I hear you.
It
This
bothered
is the
me.
investigative reporting that we appreciate, the little details. We love this.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So he's gonna ask Felicity to get some of this stuff from home. Also, though,
Yeah.
could you manage Dean and DeLuca while I'm away?
Yeah, so like he's now back as the boss of Dina. Like this is the first time that we have found out he is back managing Dina DeLuca.
What?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, so you're back. All right.
Uh, I feel like we should have ascertained that way before this.
I think so too.
Abby's
Because
been
like,
gone since the end of season two, or since the end of
right.
season
But
one.
he went to school and like he was not at Dean and DeLuca the whole time he was at school.
Hmm.
He was never there. So I assumed we talked about it being taken over by like other management. There was no other manager that showed up, but like he was never at Dean and DeLuca. So
I never thought that he wasn't managing the store. I just thought that he must have like I don't know, worked out other arrangements with the head company or something. I
ah,
like we're never introduced to a new manager, at this point, so I don't feel like I ever thought that he was demoted. I guess I would have thought that maybe he worked
I
out
thought
the staffing in a way that he always had coverage, or he had assistant management or
I
whatever.
just thought he had quit. Like I didn't think he was associated with them when he was studying and going to college. I just thought, and then I was like, now they rehired him. Okay.
I mean, he was making his flower arrangement, talking about, you know, James and his gun and the pistols and the flowers. Like
That's
he's been
true.
at Dean and
He did
DeLuca.
do he did do the flower arrangement. That is true.
That's why that scene was so very important.
He had
He
to be arranging the
did
flowers
he
to
did a bunch of
establish the
his
place.
studying for his citizenship test at Dean and DeLuca.
Yes, but not as an employee.
Well, he was there, and I would assume it was because he was already there, and they were just like on breaks or whatever. Um,
I don't know. But
but yeah,
apparently this surprised me.
I
But
mean, I feel like
maybe it
this
shouldn't
is the
have.
coldest take so far, but it's okay. Like they just, yeah, they haven't made it like a point to have him doing managerial things, but I guess they haven't introduced any other manager characters, and they have had
Eh,
him at the location. So I
fair
think,
enough. Fair enough.
but I
Just
appreciate that it
look,
rocked your
just a
world.
surprise. Yeah, just a surprise for me then. Um,
And I guess that does go to show you, like, I don't know. I think it's an interesting point, like, for you on what is essentially a first watch, other than the Elena DeForest stuff.
I know.
Um, you know, where do you get lost in the plot? What reads really clearly to you? And I think it's relevant to note that maybe the bigger question is like, what are they doing with Javier? Um, maybe there's an uncertainty around how they're mapping out his character. And I think that would be completely fair because I don't know, something I'm really learning about this show is they do pretty well with an A plot, but when you get like a B plot and a C plot, they're often very weak in how they try to string those things together or the stories that they're telling. And I think Javier's kind of succumbing to that here.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely use, I think, the B and C plots and just random characters as a break from the main thing they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
But I do think in this episode in particular, they strung together a theme through all of the plots, which I appreciated.
And what was the theme that you saw?
It was this idea of honesty and being vulnerable and that kind of like redeeming people from doing shitty things. Right. But another thing that just keeps cropping up, Felicity, she never learns. No. We're 3 seasons and 16 episodes in. And what is she doing? She's studying for finals. She's going to manage Dean and Deluca. She is going to get all of the stuff and be Javier's support system at the hospital. Like, her saying no is not a thing. No. That's not a thing.
No, it's not. I don't know. This feels like a harder situation to say no in than some of the ones she's encountered in the past. But yeah, still not saying no.
Yeah. Her academic career, I don't know how she makes it through. Because every time there's finals, there is some catastrophe where she is taken away from her studying.
I don't know. I mean, I think, like, when we were in college, every semester I had a full academic course load, a full gymnastics schedule, and a work-study job. So, like, I think this is doable. I mean,
clearly
I wouldn't, if you asked me now, if you showed me my schedule from high school or college and you were like, do this now, I'd be like, I'd slap you in the face and say H to the E to the LL. Like, I don't even no, I can't do that. Like, I would die on contact with the schedule.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I did that, normal. Especially in high school.
I feel like youth, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stamina we had.
How did we do it?
Very unclear.
Yeah.
Very unclear.
Did not sleep a lot.
No, I'm sure I didn't sleep a lot. I remember like always doing stuff like in high school. I remember doing homework, walking between classes.
Yeah.
Like if I could get this one math problem done. Yeah. Like I remember doing that. I remember in college, I would always try to have at least one class on my next semester schedule where there was a lot of reading to do, and I would get the books in advance and I would read them.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to take really careful notes with that because I'd forget the books. So I had to it took me more time to take notes as I went, but it was always about how can I just even it out as much as possible.
Yeah, I always took at least one easy course.
Yeah.
That's just what I did.
Yeah, you come up with your strategies, but nonetheless, every day is totally chock full. And furthermore, as an introvert, I don't know how I survived. Because now if I look at my calendar for the week, like having my own business, if I look at my calendar for the week and I'm like, oh my God, I have 10 meetings this week, I'm stressed. But that amounts to 10 hours with people.
Mm-hmm.
As
opposed to the 24 we were used to.
Or more. I mean, between classes and stuff with the team and stuff with every day there was a lot to do. Yes. And I guess my tolerance has shifted a bit in terms of I don't know.
Yeah.
How I can be all the time. I don't
Here's
know.
the thing. I think were we to go back to those schedules, do I think we do as well? No. But I think we could do it. I think you get used to things and, you know, that's just,
I
it
mean,
becomes your normal.
sure, you get used to things, you survive it, but then when you get older, you set boundaries and you're like,
Right. You're
this
like, I don't
isn't
want
good
to
for
do that.
me.
Right.
I'm giving this a hard pass.
Yeah.
And, do
So
you want
note
to give up
this.
the freedom to do that? I don't know.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
But like children don't have a choice.
it's
Or
true.
so it's like, note this for your children. Yes, make them take a break every now and then
I
because,
mean,
yeah, it's necessary.
so basically, we interrupt this coverage of a Felicity podcast show
Yes,
to talk about how old we are now.
right. And also to give you advice on your children from two people who have no children.
Right.
So you're welcome.
Yep. Yep. Consider yourself warned. All right, let's get back to the show, Felicity. This has been a fun tangent that nobody wanted to hear. Let's go to the loft, shall we?
Let's go there and let's watch Megan come in and put on a fantastic coat, this long, sort of mid thigh length, I think it's leather or black coat. And she has my favorite earrings in, the playing cards, the Queen of Hearts.
Okay, I love it.
So,
So Sean is the bar mitzvah is coming soon.
yes.
And Sean's feeling it. He's struggling with the speech he's supposed to write. He's feeling nervous. So that's the scene we enter. But Megan has a very different goal. Megan is trying to get out of going to couples therapy.
Yeah. And she's doing it by trying to show how healthy and normal they are, which doesn't go over well with Sean.
The number of times Sean has to say, we're going to therapy in this scene. Like,
Yeah.
Fun game to play. If this is on your bingo card, you're going to get this spot a whole lot. The "we're going to therapy" line from Sean is
Yes.
a refrain that comes up many a time.
And then Megan has some interesting ways around this. It's like Sean says, you're going to therapy. Megan's like, we don't need therapy. We're fine. Look at it. We're going to therapy. I dated a guy who had his scrotum pierced. We're going to therapy.
Yeah. It's just she's just trying to find any air hole to get into.
Yes.
And she keeps poking up her head like whack-a-mole. And he's like, we're going to therapy. Slam. It's eventually he will sort of hammer down on this by adding a couple more words around the "we're going to therapy," where it's just like, we have problems, we break up, we make up, we fight, we're fine, it's too much, we are going to therapy.
Yeah, remember when you said we would go to therapy and you said yes to that? She's like, yeah, we're going to therapy.
We're going to therapy. Fish, where are we going?
Therapy.
Yeah. But next we're going to go to the library.
Yes. Where Richard is steaming mad.
Yeah.
He is sitting with Molly, who has reverted to a completely different character again.
I know.
And it pisses me off, and I'm just going to talk about it because it pisses me off. Who is Molly? Molly is like this really nice, sweet, supportive, like, completely undamaged, wise character who is just gonna be all sugary and, help everybody out, and did not have any type of addiction problems, never dated an abusive guy with a gun. Like, that's never, like, who are you, Molly? What is your purpose?
So when we first started seeing Molly, I was like equating the writing of Molly to Greg a little. Like, I think they gave Greg more like meat to his storyline that lasted longer. Yeah. But a lot of times when we were covering Greg, we'd be like, okay, so the writers of this episode want us to know this about Greg, even if that contradicts the thing the writers of the last episode told us. And they kept introducing new information, and it kept sort of muddling for me who that character was at the core. And when we first saw Molly, I think I said that I feel the same about Molly. Do you, at this point in the show, do you see that, or like, are you seeing Molly in a different way?
I think Molly is 100 times worse than Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg, they had inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Molly is just, here was her character before, and she had no depth or purpose. Here was her character during her story. She was actually really great in that.
Mm-hmm.
And here is a different character after that story that, again, has no depth or purpose.
Yeah, they needed to workshop this a little more, I think. I think they had 10 polls of the season. I think one of the 10 polls was around James shooting.
Yeah.
Well, James shooting somebody at the party, Right. And I think Molly is how you get James.
Great. Just, she's unnecessary for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think they needed, if she wasn't going to be in the other 10 polls, I think the question, writers, is how do you build towards the major story? And then, because the thing is, the story they gave us in that central, the middle part, like if Molly is a 3-act play, like before James, during James, and post James, the during James stuff is so significant that there is actually quite a lot they could have done both before and after.
That's one way to take care of it. Another way would be Elena has a sister, and she's in town for a little while. She's got some problems.
Maybe they bring Tara back. Hey guys, remember her?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Let's bring Tara. Yes, there you go. Solution done. Tara comes back.
Yeah, that's actually a really bad solution. I apologize for making it.
She and Elena, are having a fight, but she realizes that the reason that she was so off the rails and cheating with Elena's boyfriend is because she was super high on meth or heroin or whatever. And so Elena brings her in, and there you go, story. And then she leaves.
Yeah. I honestly think the easiest way that they could have solved this with Molly was before you meet James. What we know is that she's in denial. She's being flaky. She's not showing up to places. So show us a bit of that. Make her be weird like that. Like make it to a point where people in the apartment are like, where maybe noticing something's a little off.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that. Instead, they had her in the apartment all the time. So then you meet James and you're like, but how was she finding time to spend time with James if she was always in the apartment? So I think you solve that by
nothing.
Have her make excuses or not make commitments or whatever. And then post James, there's a whole world of PTSD they could have explored here. There was a whole world. Now, I know they're going down that path with Ben, so I guess you have to find a way to make it different. But her initial reaction at the party after the shooting was, this is my fault.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not something they've explored with any other character. So where do you go from there? If her first reaction was, this is my fault, okay, she goes to rehab, but rehab gets you clean. It doesn't, in the amount of time she spent at rehab, it doesn't heal all psychological wounds for the rest of your life. So, what is she still working on? And is it related to that?
I mean, I do think that's a lot for the show to cover. So, I mean, let me put this out as a back in time suggestion that I'm sure will change everything. Just don't have her come back. That's also a solution. She just doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Stay in England, Molly.
Wow. Of course, that's the suggestion you're going to give, Fish. You hate Molly so much. Who saw that coming? Everybody's raising their hand, Fish. Every single person. I can't even see them. This isn't even real time. They're not going to, the listeners aren't going to raise their hand on this until like weeks from now. But when they do, I'll feel really validated.
All of a sudden you'll be sitting like or laying in bed and you're like, I feel validated.
I feel the energy of a lot of people around the world raising their hands in unison right now. Yeah.
But you know who else is really mad? Richard.
Yeah.
Richard is mad about the TP. Noel has been seen on the tape. And Molly is just going to sit there and, like, I don't know, say things.
And he feels betrayed by Noel. He feels betrayed by his buddy. He's like, people love kicking me around. Yeah. And, you know, at the end of the day, Richard asked Noel for help. He said, hey, buddy, let me know if you see anybody doing suspicious activity. And then Noel himself did it.
And Noel had agreed. Noel had agreed to help out. It's so true.
So unfortunately, Noel's going to walk right into the middle of the scene. Well, I guess not unfortunately. Richard had called this meeting. Noel arrives into this conversation, and Richard says, "You're busted, Crane."
That's right. And what is he holding? For those of you who don't know, it is a VHS tape.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore, but okay.
My technology has changed. Videotape. And the thing that's really funny is that while we have gone past this stage of technology, my language hasn't. So like, I still use terms like, I don't know. I still use terms like videotape, for example. And then catch myself and I'm like,
I use the term read when I don't really read much anymore. I just listen to audiobooks. I'm like, oh yeah, I read this book the other day. I didn't. I listened to it.
Yeah. You know, you might look at this and think there were certain issues with videotape. One of them being like there was only so much on one cassette, on one video. So like if all of your security footage was on videotape, the tapes would come to an end and then somebody would have to change them out to get new footage. So there's certain things about this now that you might be like, how is it that they could only know it was Noel and not Felicity? How could they only have this and not this? It's like, well, you inherently have some more limitations with the way they captured the footage. So I don't know, but
also plot.
I mean, so the idea is the administration saw this video right here, the one he's holding, only this video. Yes. We see you, Noel, but who's your partner?
Right. And you know what? You might not be able to graduate.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not revealed in this episode. I don't believe the administration has seen this tape. Why is it in Richard's possession if the administration has seen this tape? I do think he's betrayed, and we know that Richard has a bit of a, not so much a revenge streak as like a being a dick streak.
Okay.
And so he wants Noel to fess up and kind of prove his loyalty and, apologize, and he wants to know who his partner was, and Noel's just not gonna tell him.
So your feeling here is that Richard never actually talks to the administration at all?
Correct. Okay. I think he just completely made the whole thing up, including the punishment.
Okay. So Richard's like, hey, you could be expelled for this. Noel's like, please talk to them. Convince the administration not to expel me. I want to graduate. And that is now all in Richard's power.
Because seriously, if this was an issue, we know Dean Allison, right? He's a dick. And if Noel were caught by the administration, he would be in there being lectured by Dean Allison and being told that he would be made an example of.
No, I have had enough of Dean Allison.
Right. We don't like him.
No.
And Also, how do you go from you're not graduating to restock bathrooms with toilet paper?
I do feel like somebody with power needed to make that happen, right? Like, I don't know that Richard, as student council president, has keys to everything everywhere.
I think
Um,
I mean, we've established that he knows Al. So, you know, I
okay.
think this is just a giant plot to punish Noel
Okay.
from the
Look, I'm
conspiracy
gonna
theory
buy
of the
that
moment.
because I want Al to be
Alive.
have like a fingerprint on as many episodes as possible here. So I'm all in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Done.
Listeners, you might have a different feeling, but I am all in. I'm not questioning it. I'm running with it full speed. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So now we're going to get to Forrest. He is organizing a karaoke night. He's putting up flyers around the campus. But also, what is he doing?
Ignoring Elena.
That's exactly what I have in my note.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she's going to say, okay, I feel stupid about the kiss. I'm sorry. So, like, her shitty thing was in the previous episode. And here's her, starting to make amends. She's like, basically, you were right. And let's just hang out and see what happens.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know?
So Defarge is like, oh, funny, you should mention that. I have just the venue for this. Look at the flyers I'm putting up. In fact, like, how is he not going to say that, at this point? Because
Yeah.
he's obviously holding flyers at, say, karaoke night.
But also, he's, I mean, there's a reason he's organizing it. This is his element. This is where he's going to feel most confident and, like, be able to show off himself. And so, makes complete sense that he'd want to hang out there.
Yeah, this is his turf.
Exactly.
So we're now going to go to the loft, the very tense.
So much tension.
Ben and Noel, hey?
Right?
Ben and Noel.
Well, the
Noel's
whole
like,
Felicity thing is out in the open. So
yeah,
it's just like tension everywhere.
yeah. Noel's like, you're eating my cereal. Ben's like, well, but no, but also that's probably not what this conversation is about.
Yeah. I mean, I am noticing a pattern for the last maybe just 2 episodes, but Ben is studying a lot. Every time we see Ben, it's like, what are you doing? Studying. No, you're eating my cereal. Fight, fight, fight. But he's studying quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's an interesting change for him.
Glad you're seeing that. Yeah, that's just what they have him doing. They don't make a big point of it.
I mean, it gets repeated quite a lot.
Yeah.
At least in these 2 episodes.
So then Felicity is going to arrive because that's exactly who needs to be added to this scene.
But somebody did.
Yeah. Noel leaves because he's not into it.
Nope. Mm-mm. And she's going to start complaining about all the things she has agreed to do.
Yeah.
Manage Dean and Deluca, and it's so hard, and no one will take his shift because it's finals, and I gotta pick up a nightgown, for Javier, and Ben's just trying.
Or was it a slip dress?
We don't know. It could have been a jersey dress, a lilac jersey dress. I love it. And Ben's just gonna, he's just trying. He's like, this or that or whatever. Just tell me, like, what can I do? And Felicity does have a specific ask.
She's like, well, here's the thing. Not that this is my preference, but I have to ask Noel to work. He knows the place. He's worked there before. I don't even know if you'll say yes, sort of. And it's like, and also, he's in love with you.
Right.
And she's like, he's my only hope, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not only does she ask him kind of if she can ask Noel to work, she puts the added little thing in there of, and if he does say yes, could you maybe just maybe, like, be nice to him. Like, she does want these two guys to be friends.
Yeah.
It's so much tension. It's not gonna
And
happen.
Ben, Ben does agree. So when she's like, please, 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 please with the cherry on top, and he's like, ask him, I don't care.
Yeah.
So he's letting that go, but her added be nice to him. He's like, I'm always nice to him. Like, no,
Are
I
you
don't know.
though?
Yeah, like
Or sometimes you
like
maybe
bickering and baiting might
63% a
happen.
dick.
Yeah, like there's a significant amount of baiting that seems to happen between these two, but that's okay.
Yes.
Now we're going to go to one of the most uncomfortable scenes because I'm just
Yeah.
like shouting at the screen, no, Felicity, no. Don't do it, Felicity. Don't do it. Please, Felicity, no. That's what I'm saying. This whole scene.
See, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. So I was just like, well, Noel's probably gonna roll over.
Well, it doesn't even matter what's going to happen here. She leaves the Ben scene planning to ask Noel for a favor. You don't get to do that right now.
Well, okay.
Like,
Look, hold on. In all fairness, number one, he did kiss her, right? So there was that. And two, I think she approaches this from a genuine place where,
I need you to do something for me place.
no, we're in a fight, but we will get through this. It's the whole thing that you were talking about like when there's a crisis, put everything in the box and put it on the shelf. But you
Yeah.
can only do that if you dig down and, you hit love, right?
The thing is, though, this isn't a fight. From her perspective,
Right,
everything that you just said is why she does this.
right.
But the problem is they're not actually in a fight. This is a really deep-seated, like fundamental problem in their
Oh,
whole dynamic.
I really thought
Noel
you were going to
has
say
to start
Discord.
Discord. Oh,
It was such a moment lost.
Noel's problem is that he rolls over
Yeah,
every freaking time. And Felicity, and he just had to do that in the last conversation where he finally reveals the thing. And now he's rolled over again. And for her to come to him with a favor, if he rolls over again, what pattern? Like,
I don't know. The pattern is set.
it's
This is like him breaking the pattern. But again, we will see later that he will undo his breaking and then he will break it again. It's a very back and
it's
forth.
really hard to watch it with Noel.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, Felicity going into his room, I totally get that she is thinking like this and she's going to make the ask. And it is so selfish and it is so not understanding the fundamental problem here, the fundamental discord, if you will.
Well,
Um,
they have set up this pattern. And again, think, from my perspective, she has known, right?
mhm.
Kind of this whole time what his thoughts are and how he feels about her. So really, this isn't that much different from every other day, which was his problem
I think
at the
even in a
beginning.
world where you think that she knew the whole time, she could pretend she didn't because they never had like the event. But now they've had the event
Right.
and she doesn't get to pretend she doesn't know this anymore. And here I feel like she is. I feel like she's saying, put this on a shelf, but it's not his problem. It's not a crisis for him. His crisis is like, the woman I love doesn't love me back and is saying she never will. That is a
Yeah.
really what a damaging thing to do to then find a way to manipulate somebody into like doing something for you again. It's just so hard.
Yeah, I really don't think she was trying to manipulate him. I think she was used to a pattern and she was used to him sucking it up and she knew how he felt, but I don't think she understood how much she was hurting him. I still
Mhm.
don't think she understands how much she's hurting him. And I think it's important to look at her words here because she does say things like, we're in a fight, we will get through this. And then she says, can we do it together? Which is exactly what she was saying to Ben. Can we get through this together? And Ben was like, no, I have to go off and do it on my own. And now she's using the same language with Noel, but almost in a, like she just expects it to happen. She expects him to say yes, like we can do it together, we'll work through it. And I would say the stakes are pretty low on this. She's like, can we do it together while working at Dean and Deluca? It's not like, can we do it together while saving the world from a meteor? It's pretty.
But I guess it's because the stakes are so low that I feel it's especially insensitive.
Yeah, that I'm not gonna. Or I mean, it's completely insensitive. But I do think she is going along with what has been the normal pattern. I mean, while I think the kiss surprised her, I don't think anything else about it did. So she's kind of like, la-di-da, like this is our relationship.
Yeah.
And it kind of breaks my heart when she's like, please, if that helps. And he just
Noel puts his foot down back. And I was very glad that he did here.
Yes.
He's like, agree. I cannot be the loser guy friend anymore. Like,
well, he says your please doesn't help. Like, whereas Ben's trying to kind of help out and stuff. It's like, no, like you're asking me for help here. And it's not going to work on me.
I can't drop everything for you. He says, next time Ben does something stupid, I'm not going to be there for you.
Yeah. He like lists all the things. I mean, he is hurt. He is, obviously he's got his tension with Ben. And he's like, look, I'm the good guy here, right? Next time Ben goes off to Southampton, next time he beats up a frat guy, next time he does something stupid like he inevitably will, you're on your own.
Yeah. And he's just very closed, and Felicity leaves and doesn't get what she's looking for here. And I wish Noel would have held to this.
Well, yeah, but then, we'll see he kind of does in the end. So
he does in the end. I think it gets real messy. But absolutely. It's
and you know whose fault it is? Molly. Okay. No, it is. That's not just me not liking her. It's literally Molly's fault.
Okay. We'll get there, I guess. Let's go to karaoke first.
Oh my God, this red leather hat. Richard in the red leather hat. I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Belting out Jesse's Girl, or though as much as he can of it until DeForest pulls the plug.
Shuts it down. And let's remember that Rob Benedict is actually a very talented musician and in a band, and he was not doing a bad job. I mean, he was excited, but he was not doing a bad job of singing this song.
Yeah, I think it was more excitement than singing is the energy I was feeling from it. Elena and DeForest are looking on. Elena's sort of laughing in spite of herself. DeForest is just pitying Richard. And then he's going to take the microphone from Richard. And the thing is, like, you kind of just figure Richard has done multiple songs now.
Yeah, because he had another one coming up.
Yeah. Like, I feel like he's just held the stage and not let it go for a little while. And so DeForest finally calls an end to it.
Yep.
And you play that funky music start. And he's going to get Elena to join him on stage. Obviously, DeForest is very comfortable singing.
Yeah, he's Mighty Mike.
Yeah.
He's up there on stage. He's singing. He's dancing. He's moving. He's grooving to the music. Played by that funky white boy.
Wow. Yep, that's fair. Okay. So, and then Elena not feeling the same energy about it. She does come on stage very reluctantly.
Mm-hmm.
She's very shy about it. She's doing that like, I'm kind of not singing, but I'm sort of singing. Um, but she starts to sort of gain strength
Mm-hmm.
over the course of this scene. And by the end, she's
Having some fun.
having some fun. I wouldn't say she's belting it out yet, but you can see that she's getting more into her element now. Um, but we're going to notice a real difference when they cut to Elena and DeForest coming off the elevator, going towards the ladies' apartment.
Mm-hmm.
They're both now singing Play That Funky Music, but like equal strength. So I don't know. Elena must have gotten comfortable by the end of it.
Well, also there's no crowd.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
They're
yeah,
reveling in the night.
they are. She's like, I've never done that before. Um, Seems like maybe there was a little adrenaline rush with it, and she had fun. And
Yeah.
she wants to keep listening to music, so she's gonna invite DeForest in.
And then DeForest gets all in his head and he's like, but see, if I come in, then it's going to eventually be proving time again, where you try to prove to yourself that you're open minded about the fat guy. Didn't we already try that? That experiment didn't work. Don't even invite me in. And Elena's just like watching the whole thought process unfold. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. And this is a bit of where he's being kind of shitty.
I think he's being protective. I think he is being extremely protective of himself, and it comes off. It's then going to read as incredibly judgmental about Elena. Um, but I do think that the base root of this is he's been hurt like this so many times
Yeah.
that he's like, I'm not even going to allow the situation to happen.
Which is, you know what? If that's his decision, that's his decision.
Mm-hmm.
But to blame it on her, we
There are
all come
different
with baggage.
ways to deliver what he said. Absolutely. Like you could share that vulnerability.
You could.
That would be an option.
But if he were open to that, then he probably would have come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he could have just shut it down and said, like, hey, not tonight.
Yeah, that was an
He
option too.
needs to do some work on himself and his own self-esteem,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But I think the shitty thing is blaming it on her.
Yeah. Right. And I think that's going to then poke the bear. Um, and maybe it's good that he did that with somebody like Elena, who's then going to dish it back in a way that's very, very clear to him that he has the work to do that he has to do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she is not going to hold back. That is not Elena's thing.
Yeah, she's really not. Like, if you're going to do this with somebody, Elena's the one who's going to tell you what's up. So
Yeah.
Who's to say? But I think, that's the thing about DeForest. He's such a nice guy, but this always feels like it's there. It's very accessible to him. This moment, like this, I'm stopping you before I get hurt.
Yes.
Sort of feeling.
No.
It makes it really sort of.
It's sad.
It's sad. It's upsetting. He's so nice, and then there's so much pain, and so much. There's so much. I'm preventing pain about him that it's just like
And as I said, I think last time, I think there's shame around it because I think our society did not have a lot around body positivity then, and it's just seen as something that's wrong with him, and he has internalized that.
Yeah. Well, let's head to therapy, shall we? We're gonna get Terry Garr as Dr. Zwick, which was a big casting move here. Uh, Terry Garr.
Yeah, I mean, she looks familiar to me, but I can't name anything else
So
that she's
something like
been in.
Young Frankenstein, for example.
Oh, but that was a
Mhm.
long time ago.
Yeah, but she's been in a lot of stuff. I think of her as a more comedic actress in general, which I think makes a lot of sense for how they cast her here. But let me pull up
Yeah, she's a
um,
little.
Mr.
She,
Mom Tootsie.
okay,
Um,
so
see
like
here.
80s movies.
Close Encounters, 70s. Let's see. I'm trying to think what she's done, maybe like 90s or later that you might. Okay, let's see. Okay, so if I go into the 90s and later, uh, definitely more movies than TV, I would say overall. She was in Dumb and Dumber. We just had a conversation about that before we started recording.
Yes.
She was in an episode of Frasier, but she was a voice.
Oh yeah, a lot of people did the voice act. Like they call in. It's a call in radio show, so they just
Hmm.
have a bunch of famous people do that. Um, yeah,
She was
she comes
in
off.
Friends, Phoebe Abbott Sr.
Oh yeah, okay, that is probably where I remember her from because it's closer in age. Um, she's okay. You just gave the spoiler, so yeah.
Oh,
She,
well,
spoiler
who
alert, she's
knows?
Phoebe's mom.
All I did was read IMDb, guys. I apologize.
But here it's not, she doesn't come off quite as scatterbrained, and I feel like maybe that's where I'm taking it from because Phoebe is, let's say, a little scatterbrained, and her mom is a little scatterbrained. And I think that's where I'm remembering her from.
mhm.
And it was like, it's like still in my mind that she seems just a little out of it.
Okay. I
But I
think
don't think she's supposed to come off like that.
yeah, her role in this scene comedically is she's trying to be as much of the straight guy as possible to let Megan and Sean
Yeah.
shine.
And they do.
So but I do think they give her, it's a really interesting balance between that. Like the stuff they give her that's funny is deadpan.
Yeah.
So you kind of hear it after she says it, I guess. Um, so but it's all under in the package of like this is supposed to be a therapy session. So she's going straight to exercises that she wants to do with them.
Yeah. And the first one is just to make sure that everyone has their ears open. So she'd like them to repeat what she said, which they kind of do.
Yeah,
And
it's a repeat everything I said exercise,
yeah,
which okay.
sure.
Then she goes into the whole bit about okay, you're here. Great sign because that means this marriage can survive. Megan's like, "No, there's no marriage." And I love Terry Garsler. She's like, "Oh, okay.
How
Sean,
does that
did you
make you
have
feel?
yeah."
Did it
He's
sting
like
a little?
and Sean's like,
Like, no,
"No, we're really like
she's not my wife.
yeah." Terry's like,
But
Dr.
let's
Zink is
have
like,
some optimism here,
people.
guys.
Sean's like, no, but really, we're just dating. And I love that they take it another step. And
Yes.
Dr. Zwick is like, well, then what's on your ring finger, Megan? Megan's like,
Megan's,
an eyeball.
yeah. I love that.
I
And
actually
she
think
just like, oh,
if you didn't know anything about this couple, like if you were just going to introduce us with, you almost could introduce us to this couple with this scene and
yeah.
we would still know everything we needed to know. I think when they start getting into the really like the crux of the conversation around listing off, like when Megan gives her lists of complaints, then it's a little too far, like that pulls up the history of the relationship. But I think this opener is like,
Yeah.
this is everything you need to know about this couple. Um,
Well, it doesn't tell us much about Sean, but it's everything we need to know about Megan.
that's true. And so Zwick's like, all right, well, let's try a role play. I want you two to be each other and tell me what you think about the relationship.
Yeah, my notes got real messy.
Yeah, this is so Megan's going to speak as Sean. She says, well, basically it boils down to like, we fight all the time, we make up all the time, we fight and make up. And then Sean is going to be Megan, and he's mostly just going to pretend that he's in severe discomfort from his leather panties.
Well, but Megan does say, we fight, we break up, and it's annoying. Oh, and by the way, my rabbi suggested we come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, so now Megan's going to be Sean, and she's going to hammer down the point of, I'm self-centered.
Yeah, which I think is a fair shout out to Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was really surprised by is Sean really reads Megan here. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he says, oh, I take all of my insecurities out of my boyfriend, and instead of figuring out what my interests are, I'll just go and get another tattoo. I mean, these are really important points about Megan that I have not heard him speak to her like this before.
Yeah. He's perhaps been doing a little bit of thinking about this. Megan, however, so Megan is going to be Sean again, and she's like staying on the I'm self-centered tack. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, like, why don't you come check out my bar mitzvah or watch my movie or try my smoothies? I love her delivery of that. It's, I don't know, very memorable to me.
Well, I also love
And
that that's what the therapist picks up on. She's like, "What's smoothies?
yeah,
We
and
don't know. We have never known. What is
yeah. It's
smoothies?"
true. So they're basically in another fight now in front of the counselor, and Dr. Zwick's like, okay, hold on, hold on. Like, let's just repeat after me. We've got problems. And they say, we've got problems. And we're going to close that scene. Um, we'll come back to them, though,
Yeah,
because we've got other types of problems happening at Dean and DeLuca.
we do. And my first, this is Ben and Felicity working at Dean and DeLuca, and I just wrote down D&D, chaos.
Yeah, the espresso machine is steaming in a way that an espresso machine should not be steaming.
Hear that? Hear that, espresso machines?
No,
Called out.
it's a lot of steam.
It
It's an
does seem like a
unusual
lot.
amount of steam.
And from the wrong side.
It's true. And Felicity's, so Ben's as cool a cucumber, as cool a customer as he is in medical situations.
Yeah. This
Too much steam
clusters.
from an espresso machine is over the line for him. So he's like, you can see he's a bit rattled here. Felicity's on the phone with a repair guy
Yeah.
who's trying to sort of put the situation off. And she's like, no, we need this fixed today. But she now has to go see Javier.
I was impressed by Felicity in that scene. I mean, she was talking to this technician and he was telling her, I don't remember what it was, like 4 days or, whatever. And she was like, no, I am the manager here. If there's anything we need, it's a coffee shop. We need an espresso worker, and a working espresso maker. Um, she really takes the mantle there and is a good manager, and gets them to come at 4 o'clock. I
Yeah.
mean, that's really
Well, she gets
impressive.
them to come. I think the 4 o'clock is a different thing. Um,
I thought she's like, oh, okay, 4 o'clock, good.
yeah, I thought 4 o'clock was related to the reopening after the guy comes to help them clean up.
Oh, that could have
But
been the 4
anyway,
o'clock. But the point is, they were coming that day.
yeah. But in the middle of all this, Felicity now has to go see Javier, and Ben's like, well, so like you're not the best liar.
She's like, I know. And she's putting on her coat.
Yeah, and she leaves Ben in charge. He's like, this is not smart,
Right. Correct.
which it will prove not to be
Yes.
smart. I do think it is
Good
this
self-awareness,
weird,
Ben.
but that's the thing. Like, I do feel like they've been making it such a point to show him being
Cool in
calm
a
under
crisis?
pressure
Yeah.
in recent episodes. Now, I know that was more from like a health standpoint. And they even show that with him when, with both of them, when Javier says he has chest pains, they're both very like, okay. Like Felicity's like, Ben, go call a cab. Ben goes to call a cab. They get it done, and they seem to have a level head about it. And so it's so funny to me that goes entirely out the window when it's a machine, It's like,
Well, I don't think it's just the machine. I think it's also all of the customers.
yeah.
And which I also don't know that that's necessarily something that would fluster a medical professional or
Mm-hmm.
someone who wants to be one. I feel like Ben often got flustered around academic stuff.
Okay.
That was his insecurity, and I could see him being flustered about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. They are playing a weird game with the what is Ben actually good at and what freaks him out / is he not good at.
Yeah. Yeah. This, I'm trying to decide if I buy it or not, but it's funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
So we're gonna head over to to a scene of great stillness. We're at the library. Noel is lost in thought.
Yes. He is approached by the devil named Molly, who is
boy.
going to be all nice and sweet, so different from her other character. And she's going to sit down and she's going to say, I think you protecting Felicity is so sweet. Like, Felicity already told me about the TP thing. You and Felicity have this amazing friendship. You're always going to be there for each other. She's completely flipping Noel's mind here. And he's saying, yeah, it is. Like, it is. So if you want someone to blame for Noel flip-flopping, it's right here, this moment. It's Molly's fault. Now, I do think this will prove out long term.
Molly, the thing is, one of the things they've established about the before and after James Molly is they've given us a lot of these scenes where she's extremely observant of the people around her, and they confide things in her.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up giving good advice, mostly because she has the information. Like, a lot of times she has information that other people who seem like they should be closer to those characters don't have. So she's able to give this like wisdom that is actually accounting for what's really happening. So I wonder, like, with this advice, what is...
It's not advice.
Well, it's really like remarking on or admiring the level of friendship that Noel and Felicity have. And it doesn't seem like she's spotting it as like a toxic dynamic for Noel.
Yeah.
I wonder how you'd miss it. Like, would that, if you're one of these other people, if you're an Elena or a Megan or a Molly in that apartment, could you possibly think that's a healthy friendship?
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about the moments that I think Felicity knows how he feels. And I feel like a lot of those moments, like around the beef stew, around like these lingering looks that they give each other across the room, just a lot of eye contact, the fact that she goes to him and asks for help a lot of that is just the two of them. Like, you don't have another person in the
Yeah.
room.
But then you think about something like if you even relay a story, for example, like, oh, my mom came to visit over the holidays. She invited Noel to dinner with me and Ben. Okay.
Right, but see, that's the thing is
Like,
they're so close as friends that I don't think that seems weird to other people. This is their dynamic. This is their relationship. It's been
yeah.
this way.
Okay. So it doesn't raise a red flag for you that they're not spotting this.
No, not at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go over to the hospital. Felicity is gonna give Javier all the stuff that he asked for, and she's gonna
Well,
lie through
not
her
all of
teeth.
it.
Some of it.
She couldn't find the lilac possible jersey dress,
Okay.
which is upsetting to me. But we did get a fun, like, cow themed, like cow jumps over the moon themed pajama set. So,
Okay.
okay.
That's fair. And
She
she's
lies pretty
gonna,
well.
yeah, she does a pretty good job of it. She's like, oh yeah, Dean DeLuca, it's great. hmm and when I'm not there, Ben's in charge. And Javier starts to like
Grip his chest.
palpitations. Felicity is going to get a call on her cell, which is going to be jarring to Javier. And she's trying to mask the true nature of the conversation since she's right in front of Javier. She's like, you fixed it, right?
Yeah. From that conversation, I did not expect the next scene. So I think she did a pretty good job.
Well, I think when she adds the right, you kind of know that that was not a clear, it's definitely been fixed. And when we see the next scene, we're going to cut to Dean and Deluca, which is now full on fire alarm blaring. Sprinklers are activated. Everything. It's rain inside Dean and Deluca.
Yeah.
Ben is soaked. Felicity is about to get soaked.
It's raining water, which I feel like this was kind of a callback to the title of It's Raining Men. I feel like that title was not great. But they shoehorned in the whole sprinkler scene, and if that's the only reason that we got the sprinkler scene, it's worth the bad title.
Okay.
Because this was magic.
All right. So, look, big problem with, there are many problems to be had here. But the sprinklers seem to be like the highest priority to shut that off first, and then they can deal with the other stuff. So they're like, where is their shut off valve? And Ben's like, yes. Yes. I've seen it. It's the giant room sized valve in the stock room.
Yeah.
So they both go into the stock room. On the other side of the door, there's world's largest valve.
It's really not. It's not that big.
It's so big. This is my note from an optimist. Giant valves. Biggest valve in the world. It just made me so happy that like there are shows that have their things. Again, Lost has its wheel. The 100 has levers.
Yeah.
Apparently, Felicity has this moment where they have the biggest valve in the world. And I just saw this valve, especially now that I've seen other J.J. Abrams stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that feels like it's right. We've got a problem and we can fix it if we just flip this thing to this way. Or turn this thing over here. But of course, it's not easy to move because nobody has moved that. Have we definitely always seen that valve in scenes?
I don't think we've ever seen that valve.
Okay. Triple bonus points for the valve then. Great valve cameo. All right. This valve was played by Valve E. Howard. I don't know. It's so great. And so for me, it felt preposterous, but I understand you're saying and this exists in the real world, that there have to be shut off valves.
Yeah.
I just like, they were like, huh, what would be great if we had a way to shut off the sprinkler system. That was incredibly hard to do. Let's put a valve here. I need to go
I'm
back now and watch like other episodes and just see.
I'm just having this wonderful moment of like Melissa not understanding what fire hydrants are.
But those are outside a building normally, no?
Sure, but they're for water systems. That
Yeah.
it's the same thing. And
But
when you have a
inside a
large,
building as
yes.
small as Dean and Deluca?
Well, we don't know. Yeah, it's probably a little large for a place like Dean and DeLuca. Fair. But it's not, I would say, as mind-blowing as perhaps for me as it is for you. But then again, earlier I had my mind blown by the fact that Javier was still the manager. So hey, we all have our moments.
We all have our
And I
moments.
love how much joy this water valve has brought
So,
to you.
so happy. I even named it
Oh, what's its name? You did name it.
Valve E. Howard. I don't know.
Valve
I
E.
don't know where
Howard.
that came from, but that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. I like that
Triple
you
bonus
went with
points to anybody who goes back to any prior scenes and tries to see if
find it.
there is a valve on the inside, on the other side of the swinging door.
Yeah. Any
Okay.
other Valve related
Have
moments?
we ever had valve cameos before?
Yeah. Have they
Or,
been building up to this for three
yeah,
seasons?
like, was this actually the Easter egg we knew and we didn't know we needed?
Yeah.
Or was Valve E. Howard brought in just for this episode?
I love his name. I love that you didn't go with Howard as the first name. You went with Valve.
Well, why would you call it? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do it either way, but I am thinking Valve is the first name.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just feeling like me. I like Valve E. Smith, but like you went with Howard. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's got
It's
spunk.
good. It does.
Um,
It's going to
Anywho,
require multiple people.
and
Um,
Felicity's not going to be strong enough to get this done. This
mm,
valve has not been turned since the dawn of time.
wh-
So,
which is when it was originally placed there. Dawn of
or
time.
just for this episode, we don't know. It's either dawn of time or this episode only.
There's
Um,
no in between.
there is absolutely no in between. So I love the valve so much. I was going to try to say something of substance and I just can't.
No. So
Um,
Mr. Howard needs to be turned. And Ben and Felicity are going to give it their best shot with a
yeah.
giant wrench. Just, an appropriately sized wrench for the size of the valve. Giant. And so Mr. Howard is going to continue to be withholding and just unmovable. And who's going to show up?
Noel.
Of course, because
Great
he's
timing, Noel.
fresh off his meeting with Molly, who has told him what a special friendship he has, and therefore he is there to help out in, well, maybe a wetter situation than he thought he'd be in.
Yeah.
But so you get two strong guys on it. Felicity takes a step back because she's really not helping out at all.
Hmm.
And Ben and Noel manage to wrangle
They put some
wrangle in
muscle
Mr.
into it.
Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get those sprinklers turned off. So that was a really small but precious scene that has brought joy to at least one Melissa today.
At least one. If you're a Melissa out there who's also gotten joy by this, I just would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
I thank you, Fish, for taking over on that part. I think I'm okay now.
Yeah, it was fun to watch Melissa dissolve into giggles, not be able to speak, sit back in her chair and just like shake without breathing for a few
Yeah,
moments. It
that
was
was good. Good
fantastic.
times. Good times.
Yeah,
Valve E. Howard.
love it.
So, all right. Let's go to the loft. We're in the kitchen,
Yes.
and it's another Megan and Sean scene. And Megan is bringing the therapy session home.
Yeah, well, this is weird though, right? Like, how often do you think they have therapy?
I mean, I would guess they're doing something like once a week.
Right. So, a week ago, they had therapy. Now they're in the loft 1 week later. And at this point, she is going to approach Sean a week later and say, did you think all those things about me that you said a week ago and I haven't mentioned since?
I mean, I guess it would make sense in the context of every time they're going to have a therapy session, she tries to get out of it that day.
It's
Like,
fair.
it's like
Yeah,
her anxiety level creeps up as she thinks about going to the session. And so she does some sort of like a last ditch trying to pick a fight so they don't have to go. Does
that's
that
fair.
work?
That absolutely does work because that's what she tries to do. Um, Sean's like, I don't think we should talk about this. And he's like, well, do you think all those things about me? You think I'm self-centered? And she's like, yeah, everyone who's ever met you does.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to try to break up with him.
Yeah, she wants out. And Sean's like, oh, well, this is typical. You're trying to run. Seems like what you tend to do here, but I'm going to dare you
I'm going to
not to break
double
up with
dog
me.
dare you.
Yeah,
And
because
to go
why? We're going to therapy. Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Yes. Triple dog daring her.
She takes the dare.
She does. Takes the bait. She's going to go to therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
Again.
First, though, we're going to head to Dean and Deluca, which is now same day.
Yes.
Uh, what's happening with time? I don't know. I blame Valvy Howard. Even in a world where they're seeing Dr. Zwick more than one time per week,
Yeah.
like let's say they saw her 3 times this week, it's still the same day at Dean and Deluca.
It is. Yeah. Look, you said that Val V. Howard was a sign of J.J. Abrams', burgeoning, um, you know, wheel or technology based things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's starting to work with time here too.
Yeah, not the last time that'll happen in this show.
Nope.
So, well, hey, we're going to Dean and Deluca, and it's just basically minutes after
Yeah.
after the last scene. Ben and Noel, the sprinklers have stopped, but everything is sopping wet. Ben and Noel are mopping. Felicity, and I really enjoyed this twist on a scene we've often seen from Felicity, where she's now throwing out sad pastries.
She is.
It's not Felicity
Sad and wet.
sadly stacking. The pastries
Yes.
are sad.
And wet. Yes.
They're
They
weeping.
look pretty rough.
Yeah.
I did just go back on my notes because I was thinking about the timing thing. The original therapy happens, and then we get the Dean and DeLuca chaos. So it could be we had a week break in between those two things. So it's not necessarily.
It's hard to imagine that Javier would have been in the hospital for a week for
Yes,
nothing.
that does seem correct. That
So
is
what
fair.
we're saying here is Valvy Howard is still on the loose. Okay. Don't
He's
try to
making
think
a
about
muck.
this episode from a
He
standpoint of
is,
time,
yes.
guys.
He's making a muck. But we still love him. We love him for it.
Yeah.
Because now we
Um,
get a surly plumber who is actually going to be super helpful. He's going to point out
yeah.
all the things that have to be done. He's like, I got to do this, I got to clean, I got to blow dry, I got to do all the stuff, And Felicity's standing there like, so we're never going to open again on her face.
And he's
He's
like,
like,
well, no, we can reopen today, but I'm going to need your help because I've got my guys out on different projects. Um,
no,
so no, the point here is we need Noel and Ben to stay
yes,
to keep helping.
correct.
And everybody agrees. They are all down for it. Valvy Howard is solemnly sworn not to create more havoc. And I just want to interrupt my own thought for a moment just to say that I think I'm militantly trying to create this Velvy Howard thing the way I did with the bag of dead rabbits.
So you would like this to, be something that we could, like, people who have listened to this can bond with and think about and share with their grandchildren.
Exactly. I want to anthropomorphize. If you can do that with I don't know. That's what I want to do with the valve. And I want it to have a personality of its own. I want it to become a major player in previous scenes, should it appear.
I mean, it's a little bit like Ruby's baby.
Yeah.
Even though, that hasn't actually shown up. I mean, I can see this. I think there's a backstory to be had. I think he might get up to some hijinks in the future. Let's keep our eye out.
Yep. It's a fun adventure. Spinoff?
Spinoff?
Hard to say, literally. Spinoffs are scary for valves. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the library.
Yeah. Let's go to a completely inappropriate place to start yelling at someone.
Yeah. No subtitles even in this scene. They didn't want it to be fun at all. So Elena is just pissed at DeForest, and she's come to find him. And she's not, as you mentioned, DeForest's protectiveness was just also doubling as being mean to Elena. And she's not into it. So she comes at him in this scene. She's like, we had fun. I actually just didn't want the date or whatever it was to end. And you accused me of being obsessed with your fat again, when you are the only person obsessed with your fat.
Yeah.
And
that is the perfect thing to say when you're saying that there's chemistry between two people. Please then refer to his fat twice.
Yeah, I think it's tough, right? Because I think she's calling out the problem. Also, I think like nothing can happen here if he keeps blocking it. So it's like, what does she have to lose in this moment? She doesn't want to be judged in this way.
But maybe the library wasn't the best place.
Yeah.
And maybe you could have said it a little differently.
That's the location we have, Fish.
It is.
Yeah. I think it lands though. I mean, I feel like he is jarred by everything that just happened. And first of all, that it happened so publicly in a library, but also that Elena put voice to something that's actually happening for him.
I think we see that throughout the episode, that is part of this theme, is like, we're just going to be real honest with everyone.
Yeah.
And get all this stuff out there that people aren't saying. And I think part of it is that she is so passionate about this. Like, she feels strongly enough about him to come to a public venue and say that she's into him.
Because I feel like this maneuver that he does, this tactic, I don't feel like this is the first time he's used it.
Oh, no.
And I think he knows that he's doing it. Yeah. I think it seems like he's probably thought through, I don't want to go into that room because I know this is happening. And I think he consciously is blocking the situations. I don't know if he's thought about the impact of what he's saying to people when he's doing it. But I feel like he knows at least part of what's going on here for him from a self-awareness standpoint. But yeah, I think for somebody to call him out so passionately about it, I don't know if he's had the experience of somebody caring about him enough to say, stop it.
I agree. Hey, look, I absolutely 100% agree.
It happened.
Yay!
Yeah, I just did. We were just listening on I just pretended to do one of those mouth blowers that you use on New Year's Day.
I thought it was a trumpet.
Either way.
There you go.
Yeah.
I see it now.
See what I like the ones that roll out and then roll back in.
Got it.
That is how we celebrate here on this podcast for the audio version. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot to work through for these two.
Yeah.
And because they have a lot to work through individually.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not long ago, not that I want to mention this.
I knew it was happening.
To reference it.
I wasn't even going to say it, but go
A
for
minute
it.
ago, Elena was obsessed with her boobs being inadequate.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going.
I mean, they gave us an episode of that, right? But like, she spent an entire episode with the only storyline being she wasn't feeling good about her body. And she thought that's a reason why maybe Tracy broke up with her.
Yeah. I'm going to bring something even more disturbing up,
Uh-oh.
which is let's remember that she was capable of holding her breath for a very long time while having an affair with old man Smell So Bad McGrath.
I'm trying to see how that holding breath. What am I missing? I'm missing something. 2 + 2 is 4. 2 plus is it 5 though?
Let's just say
what's happening?
She she didn't have any issues with the age thing with him or his really bad smell.
Yeah.
So, she hasn't been, it doesn't seem like she's been super judgmental in the past.
No. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, that's true. I think she's had a little bit more leeway than some might have for her partners. But at the same time, we are coming off of this, like her feeling critical about her own body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it brings the same kind of baggage to this as DeForest is bringing, but I think they both do have a lot of insecurity right now. And later on, I think DeForest is really going to hit the nail on the head with this.
Agreed.
So maybe we come back to that in a moment. Let's go to Dean and Deluca. Richard is going to show up looking for Noel.
Yep.
He has talked to our favorite Dean.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, okay. Who agreed that Noel can graduate. He's not going to be expelled, but the punishment is he has to restock the toilet paper in every building on campus, which feels like a lot of bathrooms.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of bathrooms. Also, I can't imagine the administration thinking this, like there's got to be, I feel like there's got to be some sort of like union or labor law or something against this, right? Yeah. This is all Richard. This is like,
but then if it's all Richard, does Richard have the hookup to janitorial? Like I just
Al, we have established this.
But Al is security.
Right.
That's a different department than like.
You don't think Al knows janitorial? Come on.
Sure. Okay. So Al made a call for him. He wheeled and dealed in the background and got Richard the hookup to janitorial. I don't know, 200 rolls of toilet paper.
I feel like it's got to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? I mean, you're restocking.
I thought it was like 240 bathrooms or something.
It could be. It's hard to say.
A lot of bathrooms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fully think that the brain behind this, and we know how Richard gets things done. Mm-hmm. All right. He's got someone somewhere who can help him with this, either for a price or because he's blackmailing them.
Yeah. That's fair.
This is fully within Richard's grasp.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah. Ben's going to call Noel away from this conversation because he needs some help with something. And Felicity comes out. So now Richard is going to squint his eyes at Felicity and he's going to be like, I don't know what's going on. Noel is taking the fall for you.
Yep.
Which is new information for Felicity. She has not been aware of any of this happening.
Which, to me, just sort of... I don't know. Like, even though he said I can't do the friendship thing anymore, he was still actively taking the fall for her at that point in time. So it
Yeah.
does kind of reinforce their relationship
Yeah.
again.
So Felicity now has this information of like what Noel's punishment is going to be, the whole restocking the toilet paper thing, and Richard is just very unimpressed with Felicity here.
I mean, I don't know that Richard has ever been impressed with
Yeah,
Felicity, that I don't think that's ever been their dynamic.
that's true. Well, okay, let's head over to another session with Dr. Zwick.
Is that her name?
Megan. Mhm.
Dr. Zwick?
Yeah,
Cwick. Okay, I
that's
just
the
keep
one.
calling her therapist.
Okay, Dr. Zwick.
Got it.
Megan is, we enter the scene as Megan is pointing out, like, yeah, I get it. Losing a testicle is a big deal. Um, and, Dr. Zwick asked Sean to repeat that to like hone in on Megan's understanding something about you, Sean.
Yeah,
Uh,
she said something positive, and I don't like a lot of the things that Dr. Zwick asks them to do, but I thought that one was a really good one. Like, repeat it.
I think you could question most of Dr. Zwick's techniques, including there's going to
Yeah.
be an episode coming up where they're going to mention something that Dr. Zwick asked them to do that you're like, that's not real. We'll get there. It's not in this episode.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
so Megan
Questionable.
kind of
Questionable.
goes on to point out, like, but this relationship is the Sean show.
And Dr. Zwick is going to have them do another exercise called I Love My Partner But, which I think is a terrible idea. Because when you start a sentence with something like, I love my partner, the but kind of negates the whole thing you just
Yes.
said. It's like, I love my partner, but really they're a total asshole. Like,
Yeah. In improv, a but is where you start blocking a scene instead
yeah.
of, yes, ending and going forward with it. So that, but it comes with some caveats here.
You could
A lot
say,
of
I
them.
love my partner,
And
and I'm also sometimes frustrated with.
yeah, but we'll see in this scene why it can go so far off the rails.
Yeah, very,
Although,
very quickly.
if I'm being extremely honest with you, while Megan is delivering it in a mean way, was I not just saying all of
I
this
mean,
in coverage of previous episodes? I would have been like, give Megan more to do. Why is
yeah.
she always having to support Sean? Thank you, show, for putting this out there, but perhaps in a way that was very mean, but
But
also
also
real.
very Megan. But
Yeah.
I also think she has some very nice things to say later.
Yeah. So, the I love my partner but exercise, Dr. Zwick suggests Megan goes first. Sean's like, wait, why Megan? And Megan's like, see, I love my partner, but he always has to go first.
Mm.
She then starts sort of listing off. So she's like, look, the bar mitzvah is just another event we can do where we can all focus on Sean. It's
Yep.
like that endless documentary.
That
Look at
is
it.
never going to go anywhere. She's like, the stupid bar mitzvah, the stupid documentary,
Mhm. He
hanging
says
out.
here he is, a 27-year-old guy hanging out with mostly college students, inventing things that don't work, making a worthless documentary, then finding God. And it's the only thing in his life that works.
I mean, it's super harsh.
Yeah, it's a lot. And Sean is stunned. And at a certain point, you can start to see Dr. Zwick's face where she's like, ooh,
Yeah.
this took a turn
Maybe
for the
this was a
worse.
mistake. Maybe Sean should have gone first.
Yeah, maybe in future she's like crossing out. She's just like
Yeah.
trying different therapy games with this couple just to see what works and doesn't, and she's like rating them for herself, and she gave this one like a 1 star.
Or
And she
like a
won't be doing it
negative.
again.
Negative review.
Yeah.
Like when you throw things at the wall to see if they stick, this actually bounced back and hit her in the face.
Yeah, that you ever see that with there was a video I don't know why I just thought of this. This is a complete tangent. I'll do it quick. There was a minute where I was looking up a lot of axe throwing videos, and there's an axe throwing fail out there where somebody throws the axe at the wall, and the axe, the way it hits, it ricochets back and boomerangs back to the person.
Oh, do they catch it? I hope they don't die.
They didn't. The trajectory was like a foot off or something.
Oh my God.
They managed to
Oh
not
my
get like
God.
sliced in half.
I've
It
never
was
understood these. Like let's go like bash things, like break things in a room, or like throw an axe at a wall, but they do it in these urban settings where
Mhm,
it's like, hey, even a batting cage has a back to it. Like there are
mhm.
people walking behind you.
Yeah.
Like why is throwing an axe okay? Like go into the forest, people. This is not a like midtown activity.
Yeah, I've really scarred fish here. All of that to say that uh yeah, I mean Megan said some mean stuff.
Yes.
Uh
Not necessarily untrue, except for the bar mitzvah stuff. I do think it's not stupid. But
I don't necessarily know that I would say any of these things are stupid, but I think what she is saying here is exactly what I've been saying, where it's like we are going to get one Sean story after another, and why not more about Megan? Like we're getting episode of the week sort of stuff, like the challenge of the week, but it's always revolving around Sean, it feels like, and a lot of her identity has been lost in the process of all of this. And yet we have these multi-episode stories around his bar mitzvah, his health crisis. His documentary has been a much featured piece of this show. His exploration of Judaism has been covered over more than one episode. I mean, actually, I think it's a fair critique of the show giving more weight to Sean's storylines.
yeah, I mean, we do get some of that stuff for Megan, but they do tend to be smaller and one episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the whole thing with Chris. It's like, well, that was something, but it's nothing.
The whole
Um,
thing with being a teacher and being Wiccan, and that comes up multiple times, but it's always seems to be not given as much weight. Like
mhm,
we don't see, at least we haven't seen so far, like any kind of Wiccan ceremony.
mhm.
I mean, there was the tearing of the pictures and stuff like that, but not like a
But all of that
coming of
stuff is from
age.
before Sean,
Yeah.
like the stuff that was really over multiple episodes, sort of putting like backstory around Megan and keeping it there
Hmm.
is pre-Sean.
Yep. He is a
Uh,
force. But so is she. So
yeah. So
thank you for calling that out.
Sean is stunned, and we're sort of closing out this moment of the scene where you're just like kind of it's just hanging in the air, all the stuff that she just said. So we're gonna head back to Dean and Deluca, where Felicity is going to thank Noel for helping
Hmm.
and also for the Richard thing.
Yeah. And she's gonna ask. I mean, he has showed up. So I mean, I really don't think this is a question that needs to be asked. But she's gonna say, are we really not gonna be friends? It's like, well, he's there. Why don't you just not poke it?
Yeah,
But
he's like,
she's gonna poke it.
and he's gonna put a time frame on this. He's like, look, I guess I can put up with you for another 3 weeks. I guess that's the time frame until graduation. And but
Except,
then he's gonna say, and the job I offered is still available.
I mean,
Um,
he's just fully going back on
this is
everything.
totally reverting back, like
Yes.
nothing we've that's happened has happened. And Felicity's like, well, we made other plans that we're going to tell the viewers about for the very first time. So
Next
Boulder with
position.
Ben. And there's his job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a job for Ben, as we
Yeah.
find out, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a
But
job for
okay.
Ben. Um, don't get too attached to the job though, Fish. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
get too
Okay.
attached. That's going
All
to
right.
be introduced and then squelched within minutes. So,
Fair enough.
Zwick, we're going to go back to Zwick,
Right.
where Sean is absolutely reeling. She's like, Sean, do you want to do an I love my partner but
Huh.
Zwick. Zwick.
Doesn't
Um,
learn. Doesn't learn.
yeah. So he's like, I love my partner, but sometimes she makes it hard to tell her the truth. And then he starts validating the things she said. He's like, yeah, I am too old for my friends to be in college, and my inventions aren't working with anything. In fact, in an independent film channel, not actually interested in my documentary. They laugh at it. They thought it
Yeah.
was amateur.
And the bar mitzvah is a joke. I'm gonna call it off. And he looks so clearly hurt. I mean, it's like he's kind of starting to cry.
Mm-hmm. And you can see Megan is compassionate at some point, like in the middle of this, where she's like, oops, what
Right.
did I do? And he's going to leave the room. He's going to go for a walk in the middle of their session. Zwick,
I know.
feel
I
like
don't know
this
what to
went
tell
off the
you.
rails. Maybe don't try
Like,
this technique in the future.
I mean, you're a couples counselor and there's no longer a couple in your room. So something you've done did not work.
Yeah, I imagine couples counseling involved is complex. Like I had one experience with it that I don't want to get into too much, but I will say that my partner and I went. My partner had a lot of scathing critiques that weren't really based in like clear thinking, and the therapist was poking a lot of holes in everything he said, but not in anything I said. And oh my God, after the session, it was like, uh, what a nightmare. It's like, oh man, like he felt so needing to like get validation again and like invalidate the therapist. And I was like, oh my God, like it's so tricky. And when you have the relationship continuing outside of therapy, um like we're seeing with Megan and Sean, it's so complicated. And then Zwick just throws in these like really like let's just light this stick of dynamite exercises.
Yeah.
And this is like it would be, I think, terrible if Sean doesn't come back into the room. Like that is a big therapy fail, I would think, because then you can't
Address it.
address it. She's lucky he came back.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you said that because I had, I guess not quite a similar experience, but I also went with a boyfriend to therapy once. And I thought that the therapist, actually gave me quite a lot to think about and was like, you know, critiquing the ways that I was thinking about things. But when we got out of there, he was just like, I felt so attacked and all this stuff that I did not see. And he was just like, I don't feel comfortable going back.
I bet it happens a lot. I think it takes a lot of savvy to like it's it's got to be hard enough to do therapy with one person.
Yeah.
Like and then you get the complexity of not only trying to unpack like what do you well, I don't know if everybody does it the same way, but like okay, what past stuff is coming into this for each of you and then what's dynamic is at play here. Um it's got to be really complicated, and I think it can go very off the rails knowing that those people are then going to continue to see each other outside of a therapy setting, and you can't as much as you can try to create a safe container for it.
You can't unhear or unsay
Yeah, like
things.
the toothpaste is out of the tube at a certain point, so it's just like how do you really do it in a way that's successful? And Zwick got into some very dangerous territory here. And, if Sean hadn't come back into the room right away, if he had kept walking around the block until time was up, like the only place they'd have to deal with this for the next week, 3 days, 2 days, negative time, I don't
Negative,
know.
yeah.
Val V. Howard, you tell us, would be at home together without her.
Right.
So it's like, ew. Maybe you don't go straight for the I love my partner butt exercise, guys.
But hey, I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to tell you your job. I'm just going to say you are lucky. I agree. You're lucky Sean came back.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe it's something you do further in. I mean, they just started working with her. So
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
don't use weird ass exercises like that. Just talk to them.
I mean, it's, definitely like
I
as
mean,
much
my
as this show does therapy that feels a little real, it also does this, which feels
yeah,
like, it's a comedic, they're doing
yeah.
comedic stuff too, which is
I mean, I'm just
um
waiting for them to break out the like foam bats. I mean,
yeah.
it just feels very not real therapy. But okay, sure.
Yeah, yeah. There's a thing that's coming up, like I said, that it's gonna be like, oh, okay, all right. This isn't real, but it's Terry Garr, it's Dr. Zwick. I mean, we
All
love it.
right.
It's not real though, I don't think. If it's real, hey, therapists, write to us. Talk to me about the advantages of I love my partner, but um,
Yes.
so
Melissa, I got really attached to that job in Boulder. I'm just I'm really attached. So if you could take like this next section.
um, I love you so much, Fish. Okay, so we're back at Dean and Deluca now. Ben is finishing his inventory. It turns out, though, he just got a call. Colorado job just fell through.
No, my
Guys, I know this is
God.
hard. I know this is hard for all of us.
This isn't possible. I can't believe it. I mean, this is like
Condolences.
the whole show. Oh my God. This is devastating. I'm
This is too
devastated.
much. It's too much. How could we have been ready for this?
God.
Um, well, what are we gonna do? What do you want to do, Felicity? It's like,
Well, Benjamin, remember that guy who's like in love with me and you know about it and I know about it and he knows about it? Well, I'd like to go work with him.
yeah, I haven't mentioned that
How
Noel job in
about that?
Seattle.
He's like in the other room. Remember him?
um, Ben, bless him. He's like, do you want to go? Ben is being real careful here. Um, Ben is then the answer is yes. Felicity is seriously thinking about the Noel job in Seattle. So Ben is going to go to the back room, to the stock room. He's going to find Noel and he's just going to try to clear the air. I don't know.
I think he was more marking his territory.
I mean, who's to say? So he's like, well, I just wanted to talk about Seattle. Felicity is thinking about it. Boulder fell through. So if she goes, I would go too. Like, are we okay?
And Noel's like, yeah, we're cool, and then quickly exits the scene.
To immediately demonstrate how not cool he is with it.
Yes,
He
by
goes
revoking the job offer.
straight to Felicity and revokes the job offer. Yeah, he's like, I shouldn't even have brought up the job again. It's not, he literally says,
I know, I wrote this too.
it's not worth it if Ben will be there
He says it's not worth it for
for
me.
me. Yeah. I mean, to
Ouch.
actually say it,
I know. This is what
that's
I'm
an
saying.
inside thought,
This
Noel.
whole this whole episode is just like honesty.
Yeah,
Raw form
that's
honesty.
definitely an inside thought.
Yes.
um, So Felicity is letting that sink in and she basically mirrors it back. She's like, so you're only offering the job if Ben doesn't go.
I mean, first she says, look, I'm dating Ben. If I go to Seattle, of course I'd bring Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And then she does say that about the job, and then we just see Ben with his like purposeful walk. Like he's got the aggressive walk on, and he's gonna walk right up to Noel.
He's got the "you're being a dick" walk.
Right.
And he's going to go up and he's like, what's going on here? You're being a dick.
Correct.
Which is emphasized, underscored by his "you're being a dick" walk.
Right.
I don't even know if the language here matters. Like, it's just the energy.
Yeah.
This is obviously not a threesome that can be together in Seattle.
Yeah.
This is a pipe dream. And Noel pushes Ben with one hand on the shoulder. And Ben's like, okay. And he just like shoves Noel back. And
Yeah.
the customer has to break them up.
I wrote down, like, who is this guy holding them back? Because are they open?
I guess
at
they're
this
open again. I
point?
guess it's after 4 and they've let people in again. But
Random guy in
probably
a
shouldn't
suit?
have. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is really unnecessary because honestly, what I think these two guys need to do is just fight. I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't think that's the solution here. I think the solution comes from Felicity herself.
yeah, I mean, I do think she needs to make, yeah, like, if she's made her choice, she needs to set boundaries. But in the absence of Felicity doing that, like this tension building up, I just feel like inevitably is going to bring them to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so we're gonna skip over from here.
Well, so I wanted to ask, what did you think was Felicity's expression as
I think
that they sort of linger on her face for a
I
moment?
think Felicity continues to try to live in the world where everything is as it was before Noel told her that he's into her.
He
Like,
didn't tell her.
but I mean, he kissed her. He's like, I haven't been friends with you in a long time. He's told her.
Yeah.
And I think it's as if she's trying to behave as if that didn't happen. I think that Javier puts it really well in the next scene, like the trying to, well, I mean, okay, he has his language issues here with this, but like the trying to have your cake and eat it too idea is like,
Yeah.
sure, she wants to be with Ben and she wants to have Noel be her like emotional support animal.
I
And
think it's more than that. I think it's not only is he that, I think he's also like plan B. He's your fallback if
which
Ben
is
doesn't
even
work out.
like a more extreme version of that, right? Where it's like, oh, and so there's this like kind of intention for Noel. And I think she just wants everybody to coexist like that and thinks that they can and is getting a lot of evidence to the contrary. She's getting so much. In fact, like Noel is telling her that it's hurting her.
Him.
Him. Ben I think is trying to he's doing his best to like be the I'm not telling you can't do this. No, if you want to do this, I'll support you with this. But there is friction when he's around Noel. Like all of that is good in theory.
Right.
But then when you put them in the same room together, like, yeah, sure, Ben can be the bigger guy when Noel's not physically in the room. But then when Noel
Correct.
is, like,
Yes.
there is a palpable tension. And Felicity wants to wish that away. Like, time's going to heal all wounds. And I think that's really inconsiderate now to everybody, including herself, because it hurts her to watch this happening. And what she thinks it's just going to unhappen.
Look, Felicity, the peanut butter is out of the jar. It's on the
Toothpaste is out of the
bagel,
tube, peanut butter's out of
and
the
the
jar.
and it's on a bagel. And you
The
can't keep
wet
throwing it away.
croissants are out of the I don't know. It's fine.
No, they're still in the garbage. Leave the wet croissants in the garbage.
Okay.
Yeah, this is happening. And Javier is saying a lot of, I think, what I said during the Felicity, you're the worst. You know, he's like, you can't have them both.
Yeah.
And you made your choice.
She
And
says, I should be able to still be friends with Noel. What? Felicity, get over yourself. Please.
I mean, she can be willing, but he also has to be willing.
Yeah.
And that's not a thing right now. And Javier does support her. He says, you can be friends with Noel, but you can't expect Noel and Ben to be friends.
Yeah.
It's like that song, growing up is hard to do.
Yeah. But I would emphasize the point that you just made. I mean, I think Javier tries to soften it by saying you could be friends with Noel, but you can't make Noel and Ben be friends. Also, I don't think he can make Noel Noel gets to decide too if he's friends with Felicity. So
Yeah,
I
he has a hard time with that.
but I don't think Felicity is ready to absorb that message, and Javier kind of knows it, so he steers clear of it. I think that what Javier is saying might be more actionable for her in this moment, might make more sense to her, might be something she can do more about. Because I don't think she's prepared to absorb the idea that she could not be friends with Noel because she's chosen Ben.
I mean, the point that I will put on her side is that she has, while I think she really enjoys the attention from Noel, she enjoys the affection she gets, she enjoys the fact that he's around as, the guy to support her and pick her up when Ben's being a dick. She has also drops everything to see Ben. She tells Noel, I'm with Ben. Like, this is not happening. We are friends. I'm going to Boulder. Like, she picks Ben. So at least she's
But
not turning around and saying, maybe there's a chance for us. Like, she's not saying that. She's just saying it's friends.
and I mean, maybe this opens up a can of worms to say this, but okay, Ben also set limits with Avery. Did they matter? No. Like,
You mean to Avery?
yeah.
She's a psychopath.
Ben said no to Avery about lots of things, and then kind of the stuff ended up happening anyway. And I feel like that's sort of what's happening here too, because Felicity may be saying, I'm with Ben, but then Noel kisses her. Okay, I'm with, yeah, I don't know. She's just like, Ben's the one I've chosen. But then she's, still like she's still having these conversations where she's gushing about their friendship. And I don't know. Like, the boundaries seem so artificial, and
I
they
don't
don't seem based in understanding the root problem.
I mean, I agree that she does not at all understand how much she's hurting Noel.
Yeah.
But I also think that she is sending very clear messages that she is not interested in a romantic relationship with him. She very much values their friendship, and she likes the fact that he likes her, and is there for her, and, is trying to ignore all of the ways that he is trying to profess his love. But I don't think she's leading him on in a romantic way. I think she is still hurting him. She wants to be friends. She's being selfish. She's being like she's being the words that are coming to me are wantonly obtuse, and that is not what I mean.
I think that's fair. I mean, I think okay, so she's saying I've chosen Ben, but the thing is, like, Noel has been has built a relationship here with Felicity, forged from the idea that Felicity liked Ben, but maybe there was a chance for him if he stuck around long enough. So
Right.
when she comes to him and says things like, "But will you spend time with me helping me at Dean and Deluca?" And what it could I still take that Seattle job and spend that time with you? I think that Ben is Noel is so head over heels for her and so obsessed with her that in his brain, even if she's saying I'm with Ben, he's seeing hope.
Yeah.
And like
She needs to crush that,
sh- which
which
takes is
she
going to
doesn't want
take
to do.
more. Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
take a lot more than her saying I'm with Ben because she was pursuing Ben from the moment Noel met her.
Yep.
And they've had moments. They've had relationship moments through that. So it's like it is not enough. Like she may be setting limits, but they are far too flimsy for what Noel is feeling in this situation. And her continuing to go to him and like take him up on offers and ask him for things and promise time together is actually muddling the message in a way that maybe you wouldn't think it was because it's like, yeah, she's saying she's with Ben, but
I mean, I don't think it's muddling her message, but I do think, I mean, Noel shouldn't still think there's a chance, um, but he does.
mhm.
And I do think he needs to be the one to put up the boundary because it's mostly hurting him.
Mhm.
And I think Felicity has been putting up boundaries. Like, she was not okay with him kissing her.
Mhm.
She reinforced that I am dating Ben,
Yeah.
and that we just want to, we're just friends. But, you know, I, I do think, and I also think for himself, just self-esteem wise, it's better if he's the one to set the boundary for himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so all of this was in the context of Felicity crying to Javier conversation, but Javier is at the hospital still, and the doctor's going to come in and release Javier. The tests are negative. It was a panic attack. He could afford to lose a few pounds. Javier, like, there's no need to be nasty.
That's right.
Um, but
So,
then I actually
after
really
3 weeks
like,
in the hospital,
yeah,
he's finally
or
being released.
-2 minutes. We don't
Right.
know.
Not option.
Looking at you, Val E. Howard. So Javier, I like this little moment that we have as we close out this scene where Javier goes, "It's not my time,"
Yeah.
and Felicity and Javier just go, "Yay!" They're just like celebrating to themselves. Um,
I'm not dying yet.
that
Woohoo.
was really cute. It just felt like a very lived-in friendship moment for me. Um,
Yes.
Okay, so let's head over to Dr. Zwick again. And Megan is regretting everything she just let loose against Sean. She's like, I shouldn't have said all that. It was harsh.
And Dr.
Um,
Zwick is saying, well, if you said it, it was real. And then she wants to propose another game.
yeah, Sean's going to return. He finally is back
Yes.
in the room now. Um, Megan suggests they do one more role play. Sean's like, please, no more. But she says, I'm Sean. My girlfriend can be so mean, but she's really sorry. She loves me because I'm brave. I try, I take action. I have ideas and I see them through. And I don't care what anyone thinks, especially at the Independent Film Channel. Um, that's a I don't know how they got the rights to say stuff like that, but that's okay. That's fine. So
And
he's
because of
really moved by
that,
this.
yeah, but because of all of that, I'm more of a man than I even know.
Yeah, so he's very moved by this, and they're gonna kiss and make up, and they're gonna keep kissing. And Zwick's like, nope, nope, nope. Nope, still need sessions, more sessions. Kiss doesn't mean bliss. Let's set our next appointment.
But they're still kissing
Yeah,
because, again, let's remember this is their kink. You
yeah,
know, this is it. They like
yeah,
making up. It's fun for them.
yeah. All right, so now we're gonna head to Ben's room at the loft.
All
He's
right,
thinking.
I need to take a minute here because this scene, this shot of Ben, he is so effing hot. Like, starting with the jeans that are like riding a little low, and he's laying back on the bed, and his t-shirt is like riding a little bit up so you can like see the little happy trail, and he's got his arms behind his head, and like everything about this shot, these clothes, everything is working for me in this scene. I think this is the hottest scene of the entire show so far.
Wow.
I know. And for all of you out there who didn't just watch this episode and pause for at least 10 minutes just on that scene, just go do it. Go do it now. It's you'll thank me. It's
Wow.
amazing.
My notes just say Ben's room, Ben thinking.
No. It should say Ben is stupid hot.
Okay. Okay. There you have
Correct
it,
your
folks.
notes.
And then I wrote Felicity arrives.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there some sort of a core difference between Fish and Melissa here? And this just what just happened? I don't know.
Oh
So
my God.
Felicity is going to say to him, okay, I feel stupid that I thought all three of us could be in Seattle. I'm not going to Seattle. Ben makes this a real point here. He says, I just want to be clear with you. I am not asking you to cut Noel out of your life.
I
Um,
I couldn't hear them. He was so hot. Like
okay.
the whole rest of the scene, it turned my brain to mush. I don't know what happened.
It's the power of funk. Okay, so
Oh my God.
it's fine. I get it. I'll jump in with some words. So Felicity says, I know. I have to figure this out. Um, but the point Ben makes here around I am not asking you to cut Noel out of your life. Seems like he's really been thinking this through. He's trying to be very careful about this. And he's taking the Felicity's wisdom about Avery, cut her out of your life. Ben sees the difference in this situation. He sees that's not a thing he can ask, and he's not doing it.
Well, to be fair, in that previous episode where she said, "Cut Avery out of your life," Ben's reaction was, "I don't want you to see Noel anymore." So he
he's
has had
walking it
that
back.
reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he knows he's on kind of dangerous ground here. I mean, this is unsteady. But the thing about this too, this is very unsteady territory for all three of them. But then Noel's graduating in 3 weeks. So like, I don't know. Is this high stakes or the lowest stakes ever? Like it's look, there's a season 4 of the show.
Right. I mean, I think
We
Ben
know that.
feels way more confident in his relationship with Felicity than Noel ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that comes through, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
I think he's saying, I'm not asking you to cut Noel out of your life because honestly, he's not that threatened by the guy.
Yeah.
He's just not.
Okay.
We can get kind of mad because he's getting in his face and, there's tension because Noel has feelings. But it's pretty clear what Felicity's feelings are.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. We are going to get DeForest knocking on Elena's door. And
I love Elena's reaction. She hears a knock on the door, has no idea who it is, and just yells at the door, "Come back after finals."
mhm. And then she sees it's DeForest and she's like, so if this is an apology, I'm here for it.
She's like,
Like,
"Yeah, I'm here for it, but hurry up.
yeah,
Like,
that
hurry
is
up and apologize."
a difficult condition under which to make an apology.
Yes.
DeForest is like, oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I am here to apologize, so okay, I guess let's do this
And then he sort of
quickly.
rolls into it. It's like, it's just hard for me to believe that you could be into me because usually I'm just like the safe rebound guy. And, and I should feel grateful that the person wants to date me at all.
Yeah, he's like, not everyone has looked like me, and they don't feel like they have to care about me because I should be so grateful that she went
Yeah.
out with me in the first place, and I don't want that.
Yeah. And Elena's like, wait, well, so first of all, that is exactly who he is here in this situation in terms of like the rebound guy.
Mm.
Um, he's called it. His
Mhm.
fears are to some degree reality with this. But Elena, and I don't know if Elena's prepared to say how on the nose that is, or if, whatever.
Well,
Um,
clearly she's not because she doesn't.
even to herself.
Ah,
But Elena is saying like, look, I don't want you to feel like grateful. But I can't make promises about the future. But let's face it, we both have some baggage that we're bringing into this. Um, and I don't know. I guess that's about as much as Elena can say in that situation. Uh, in the middle of her saying that, DeForest initiates a kiss,
mhm.
and they do kiss. She receives it, if you will. So that's that scene.
Yep.
I
I
don't
mean, I
know. I
think
mean, I think
it's
it took Elena really pushing back hard for DeForest to be able to even have this conversation. But then still in this conversation, it's like, um, I don't know. He's very like it's very much about where his insecurity is coming from.
I think it's very, you know, brave, and it takes a lot to be this vulnerable. And I think this is what we're seeing, right? DeForest was protecting himself, and then he comes here and he's just, first Elena is really honest and is like, "I'm into you. I was having fun." She does it in public. He comes back and he's vulnerable and he explains what's going on. I think we saw the same thing with Megan. She had her outburst and then she comes back and she's vulnerable
Mhm.
and says what she feels about Sean. Um, we do have the actual standoff fight between Ben and Noel kind of bubbling over. So I think we're going to see more of that truth coming out on all sides. There's just a lot of vulnerability and honesty in this episode that I appreciate. I mean, even the part with, you know, Molly, um, while she was saying that, you and Felicity have this amazing friendship, and yes, it causes Noel to backslide. Um, I think in the long term, and I don't know for sure because I can't remember, but I think in the long term, he will get over her if I think we've established they don't end up together. So he will get over her. And in the long term, they probably can be friends. So I don't know. At least that's how I see the show shaping up. Like, I don't see Noel not being a presence in Felicity's life moving forward. He'll find someone of his own, and it'll end up being okay. So there's something to that. So, I think just as we keep going, and we'll see this in the next scene as well, we're going to get more vulnerability and just honesty.
We are. I think part of what I'm taking to your comments is how bumpy a road it's going to be with Noel.
Yeah.
It is not a straight line. Not even close. So like, well, what we're going to see in this scene is Noel putting his foot down. He's restocking one of the many bathrooms he's been restocking, and Felicity finds him.
Yes, we are having another bathroom scene.
Yeah.
There are a surprising number of bathroom scenes.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a relatively easy set to create. I don't know. You just have stalls.
It's true.
We always see doors. I don't know.
But I will say, I see Felicity coming in. Like, she has tracked him down again, right? Like, the first time she tracked him down to break his heart. She's tracked him down again to, it's not just Noel putting his foot down, it's also her creating a boundary as well. She comes in saying, I can't take the job, you know?
But then she says, I can't take the job, but then she's about to start setting her expectations of what she wants. Well, I don't know, expectations, hopes for what she thinks this relationship is going to look like. And Noel's like, nah, because they're unrealistic for him. And yeah, it doesn't seem like a big ask for her, but this man is in love with her, is obsessed with her, has been for a long time. And her saying, can't take the job, I'm with Ben, isn't going to undo his feelings. So it's like, she says, I don't want to lose you, Noel. And
I actually love this moment where he's in the stall refilling the TP, right? And she comes in and says, you know, I can't. First, it's a men's room. So she's like, Noel, you in there? And she comes in, she says she can't take the job. And, you know, Noel knows it's her. He doesn't walk out of the stall. He stays in the stall to hear this. And you just see him close his eyes with like this resigned pain. And I don't know, it was a moment for me. I was just like, it's like he just needed a minute to like, all right, she said that. And then she keeps talking and he like has to walk out of the stall and basically, you know, throws up a big No Doubt song, Don't Speak. He's like, just don't say anything else.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to say I'm your best friend and we have this history. And he says, I love you too much to be friends right now.
But he does put a right now on it. I mean, I think it's significant when a yet or a right now is said, because it's not a complete shut off to the future.
It's not a complete shut off to the future, but it's, I've kind of been in Noel's position before, and I've definitely been in Noel's position before. And the only way this has ever worked is to walk away.
Yeah, I have absolutely been in Noel's position before, but I did not say right now or yet. What I said was, like, I need to never talk to you again. I need to never see you again. Like, if you see me in the future, just like keep walking. Like, it's too painful for me. There was no yet or right now, and I've never talked to them again.
I said right now, looking for whether or not they would have it, whether or not their own thoughts would reveal themselves over time. I wanted to allow room for that.
My person was pretty clear.
And my person was doing what Felicity was doing.
Yeah,
and
mine was clear.
And very it clear. Was like, oh, but you could still do this, and you could still do that, and you could still do this for me, and we could still hang out here. And it was like, Do you get
Yeah.
what I'm saying to you? And I think the answer was no.
Mm.
And so I was seeing potential hope in their responses, but was realizing that they weren't trying to communicate hope. And so my right now ended up being a forever, but it was initially communicated as a right now.
Yeah, like for me, he definitely said I I want to be friends, like still want to be friends, but I was just like I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And his response was ever, and mine was yeah. Like no, like it's just not. This is
Mm-hmm.
not a thing that is ever going to work out for us
Yeah.
as friends.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I guess your mileage may vary on your personal experiences with this, listeners. Like, I don't know, maybe you've had this happen, maybe you haven't, maybe you've been in Felicity's position. I don't know. Look, Felicity felt that way about Ben, and like,
Yeah.
look how things changed for her. And I think in a way, the show perhaps gave us hope where we shouldn't have hope sometimes. Um, you
Life
know,
does that.
yeah, sometimes you're the Noel. And I think the I completely get what's happening here for Noel. Um, I don't put too much stock in the right now. I don't think that in this moment Noel can envision a world where he doesn't feel this way about Felicity, and Felicity thinks that just by saying "let's be friends" that squashes it, and it does not because Noel still feels this way. Um, so his only way to like get out of her, I don't know. You hear people talk about the idea of like toxic positivity sometimes.
I have never heard that.
I don't know how much I've really investigated the idea of it, but it's like, oh, everything's fine. Like the
Oh,
very like, but
fakeness.
actually there's a problem here. And the
Yeah.
like the way you use a euphemism to cover over it, like paper over it, but you know that there's actually something under it. I think anything like that sort of squelches the let's but there's also an issue that we need to talk about here.
Yeah.
And I think in a way, maybe that's kind of like what Felicity is applying to this. Like, but we could be friends. And he's like, but we're
Mm,
not now because I'm not just friends with you.
right.
like, like, so until there's a world where I could be friends with you, we can't be friends. Um,
Yeah. And I think, I think it's good he set this boundary, but I also think you know, he is being completely open and honest at this point. And, yeah, it takes guts. So I think this, especially on Noel's side or on Scott Foley's side, I think this was an extremely well acted scene. And I felt a lot when he closed his eyes.
yeah.
The big problem for me is I think it would have had much more of an impact if he wasn't wearing a jean jacket. I could not take him seriously wearing that jean jacket. It was like this should like hit me in the heart, and yet what I'm focused on is the stupid jean jacket you're wearing.
Oh man.
So note note to props or whatever, remove the jean jacket. It's not okay.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Notes for the crew. Um, Noel actually says one other thing very quietly as he walks away. He leaves the bathroom. And as you're leaving, he says, I'll miss you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I mean,
Here's the thing about all
he
this.
is leaving in 3 weeks for Seattle, and
Yeah.
she's not
In the
coming.
meantime, he still lives in the same apartment as Ben.
Well, for
This
three
is
weeks.
so bananas. I hate to tell you this, Fish. They're gonna throw a wrinkle in this pretty quick.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I assume, right? Again, there's a
yeah,
fourth season.
it sure is. Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know how he ends up remaining in their orbit, and I mean, or maybe they moved the whole show to Seattle. Who knows? But I mean, all of you who are listening know. I don't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just, how does this man stay? I mean, I
Yeah.
assume it's because of Ruby's baby, right? She shows up, Ruby's baby.
We are going to see Ruby's baby in the next episode.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh my God. You told me, so I wouldn't just say Ruby's baby is going to show up and then not know.
But I haven't told you what Ruby's baby does.
That's
And that
true.
is for you to determine when we discuss what the next episode is going to be.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, boundaries seem like they're set here, and they're like
And
Swiss
yet,
cheese. Yeah. So
I will say I did like this end, the sort of ending with the bar mitzvah.
mhm.
I thought it was beautiful. I thought the scene was beautiful. I
The
liked the music.
song here that I heard was Art Garfunkel's "Perfect Moment."
I do not think that's the music that I heard. I think it was a group of some sort, but it was still good with the scene.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it was a montage of
yeah,
Sean at the bar mitzvah and all of his friends looking on. Molly and Noel are sitting next to each other and smiling. Richard and Javier are sitting next to each other and smiling. Megan's looking on and smiling. DeForest and Elena are smiling and holding hands. Felicity and Ben
right.
are sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
They're not really on the same page.
I mean, they're not. I mean, Felicity isn't even looking at the ceremony. She is looking like having this lingering look at Noel across the room.
Yeah, I might even call it wistful.
Yeah, it's definitely has meaning. I said lingering and sad.
Yeah,
So I
I think
think that means
sad is a good
wistful.
word for it. I think there's a heaviness to what she's feeling here. There's like a loss. We're in the same room, but there's a loss.
Yeah,
Um,
you see the distance between them already. She's
and
not focused on Ben the
yeah,
way everyone else is sort of, how she like scoots herself in and like fits perfectly with Ben's arms and stuff like that. She's not doing that. There's like
yeah.
space between both Felicity and Ben. It's closer, but there's space. And then this long distance over to Noel, who is, looking at her and she's looking at him and he looks down, and it's all very sad in that moment. But
Mhm.
but we still get to see Sean, you know, reading from the Torah and doing his thing. I did wonder, and I don't know if it's true, so meh. But I do wonder if we don't get any scenes of him actually reading is because maybe he couldn't pronounce the words. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
they must have given him something to say while they were shooting it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was, I mean, it could have been like apples and bananas over
No,
and
I
over
think
again.
I think I
Yeah.
saw like Adonai and things like that coming
Okay.
out of his mouth, but we don't know exactly the pronunciation that was coming out. I mean, I
So
would have a very hard
he,
time
yeah,
if
I mean, he sounds like they gave him, dialogue that was real dialogue, and then they did a montage over it.
yeah. But I mean, they could have done the bar mitzvah differently, where it wasn't a montage, where it was an actual scene.
Mhm.
And I do wonder if they sort of wrapped it into this montage because it's hard. Like Hebrew's hard.
Sure.
If you don't grow up with it. And I don't know if maybe Greg knows how to say all those words already.
I mean, it's
But
hard to say. I think artistically, the point of this is a function. I mean, it's like a game night sort of thing. It's like, do you need to see people strategizing in Battleship, or do you just want to watch them like hand each other popcorn and look at each other in the eyes and stuff? Like, I think this show certainly uses this technique. It's not the first time. So I think Do I need to see the ceremony itself, or does it mean more to me to see the where all these different pairings are, and
Yeah. No,
in the
I think
story?
it's still, I mean, I think it's a great scene. It was just something that kind of came to my mind as I was like watching him. Um, but like bonus points for Megan for just having a really proud look on her face. Like
Mhm.
she has these moments where she does have this sort of adoring look at Sean. Like I do feel like they are really in love.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, Fish, I know that you don't have a "you're the worst" segment, so let's go to our favorite segment.
Yay!
After you listen to this tape, you have to erase it.
Exciting.
Now, how about this? Well, let's start with the one Sean one we have, and then let's talk about Breakup Kid and Avery and all that other stuff. So from @Galinsky_. I love when Sean gets in touch with his Jewish side. It's a bit of an insane plot, but there's a lot of heart, which is how you could describe Sean.
Oh, that's nice. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Little insane, but with a lot of heart. I
Yeah.
like
I
that
like it.
as a description for Sean.
Yeah. Um, @MEM_0026 wants to set some limits.
Okay.
No gifts, especially a watch, for a non-boyfriend who has a significant other. You better bet I side-eye any girl who might give my husband a gift, including his favorite Milano cookie. No, I see you girls. That, if you're all wondering, was really a comment for Avery. Okay.
Yeah. It was a comment for Avery and validation of me in saying that a watch is not an appropriate gift to give someone that you are not dating or married to. I don't know that I would go quite so far as a cookie,
Yeah.
but you know what? You do you.
We
You
feel you.
know your
Yeah.
relationship. I fully support you.
Okay, so @insta.mickey says, I really like it so much when you girls talk about your personal experiences, life stories, and lessons. There's always a laugh or some pondering. The episode with the mac and cheese, I couldn't help because it's not a popular dish here in Latin America. This episode, though, the different opinions were more about our not at all decipherable Benjamin, which makes sense. This was sent around the breakup kit. All the Noel parts are so painful. I kind of hate the breakup kit, and that Noel obviously keeps calling the apartment and saying that the girls are calling him. It's my take. I agree that Felicity is selfish when it comes to wanting both boys at her disposal. She is the worst sometimes.
Yeah, she definitely is sometimes.
We
Um,
had not. This theory from @insta.mickeys makes so much sense when she says it, but I hadn't thought about it.
that he was calling in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it going all ways. Like, they all talk to each other, or yeah, he's calling the apartment to see if she's there so that he can reheat his beef stew and is like finding out what's going on. No, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
no.
we've got some love for Carrie Russell in the breakup kit. So @Anna_gone_bananas_ says, ooh, Carrie, in that speech to Ben in Southampton and in that makeup talk, even though he did most of the talking or whispering, was gold. She is pure gold. Mwah! Perfecta.
She is pure gold. We
Mm-hmm.
love her. I was talking to you earlier about how I started The Diplomat. I've just started it. I'm 2 episodes in. And oh my goodness, the difference between her hair in this show and that show. I mean, she's still an amazing actress, but they make a very clear point They have just really messed with her hair to make it look terrible.
Stringy and greasy.
And like fried. I mean, it's like damaged. And I just, now when I see, Felicity, I'm just like, oh, the perfect hair and everything. So she's gold for a number of reasons, but the one I'm choosing to focus on at the moment is her hair.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. One more about the breakup kit, and we're going to take the focus squarely off of Felicity for this one. At Ruby and Simba 13 says, "This is the one that made me not want Ben or Noel for her. What a jerk Ben was to go with Avery, and he pursued her. He showed up after her interview and acted like passive, like he was just being nice to her. I call BS. That was such a hurtful thing to do to her. I hated that she took him back. Both Noel and Ben too easily leave her for other women."
I mean, yes, I would say everyone is imperfect, right? Ben has done some shady stuff. Noel has done some shady stuff. And let's admit, Felicity has done some shady stuff. So nobody's perfect. They're young. I don't know what else to say to that. I get your point.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to continue to shine the light on Felicity's role in all of this as well.
I think that's really what struck me about that comment, and like most of the types of comments we get. I mean, when you think about the amount of feedback with the Avery scene, with the Avery episodes, when you think about the amount of feedback we've gotten and how almost every single one of the things that was said was about critiquing Avery or Noel or Ben.
Yeah.
But I think we're really seeing that Felicity's a contributor in this, in her way, in the Noel and Ben dynamic of it all, at least. And I don't feel like fans of, like, the really big fans of the show want to hold Felicity's feet to the fire. But we're doing it. Sorry. I mean, I think especially in the last couple episodes, I think we're really seeing something the show is asking us to see. She is facilitating, I don't know if we're going to say an unhealthy dynamic with Noel, but she is very happy to keep running to Noel. And in a way where I think there are some boundaries that get crossed sometimes, but it's so nebulous because the lines were never there. It's like, at what point do you say she shouldn't be going to him for this, or she shouldn't be going to him for that? I think if you're in Ben's position and you find a box that says breakup kit on it, you would feel a boundary is crossed somewhere along the line.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
That is fair. However, let's remember where he was when the breakup kit was created.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but I think, there are certainly places here that get weird. And yeah, no, Felicity is allowing for this situation, and she's fostering that situation. So I don't know. I know people seem to be reticent about holding Felicity's feet to the fire, but we're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we're going to call Ben out for going out to see Avery, we have to call Noel out for making the breakup kit, and vice versa. And, whether it's willful ignorance or actual ignorance, or, before this, Felicity is, she's hurting Noel. Mm-hmm. And she would like there to be a world in which they can have this dynamic and it doesn't hurt him. And that world does not exist, but she, as you've said, is like, she wants to live in it anyway. And so she's going to try her darndest.
Yeah.
And that type of denial, it's not good. It's not a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. So true. Well, Fish, it's time for us to rate this episode. Did you want to go first on this?
I can go first on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, this one kind of snuck up on me because, not that much happens in it, I guess, in terms of, Javier's fine. Nobody's traveling anywhere. Nobody gets shot. And yet, I feel like every character in this opens up. And most of them mess up at some point during this episode. And then also redeem themselves by opening up and being vulnerable and being honest. And I get that you don't think Felicity was necessarily doing that. And I can see your point there. I do think her repeated just, hearing from Javier, which she did. And I think, I hope she's taking it to heart. And maybe I was just reading too much into that. We'll have to see in the next couple of episodes. But her, like, I can't take the job, to me at the end was her really actually setting a boundary. It was like, I have made my choice. And so, again, as I said, maybe that I read too much into that. So maybe I could have done a You're the Worst, Felicity, but I feel like I've already said all the things for that. But this episode just felt really satisfying to me. I think the dialogue was great. I think there were a number of shots and scenes that I really appreciated. And I just felt at the end of it that there was, I don't know, it felt like an episode that gave me a bunch of payoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's what they were going for, but I really felt that I got it. So for me, this one is a 10 out of 10 gloves.
What?
I know.
Wow. Look at you.
This was one of the best episodes for me. I loved it.
Okay. Well, there you have it. 10 out of 10 gloves from Fish. Now, I chose to rate this one in the unit of giant valves.
Of course. Valvey Howards. How many Valvey Howards are we going to
get? 8 out of 10.
Okay.
All right. So I guess this is one that I rated in comparison to the last couple of episodes. And for me, the last couple of episodes were stronger, so I didn't feel like I could rate them as high, and those were 9.1 and 8.9 respectively. I think about this episode, and I think it's moving, it's kicking the can a little bit. Like we're getting, we're sitting, I like that we're really sitting in the pocket of these relationships, that we're exploring everybody's individual feelings on things. I like that most non-Molly and non-Richard characters are really getting a chance to be thoughtful and introspective and have some growth and some challenge to their thoughts. But I also think that in the context, so I think that this episode reads very satisfying for you in ways that it doesn't for me, because I know where we're headed. And
That's
so I like some of the things that Noel says by the end, but we're going to try to undo that right quick. I like that some of the things that Felicity seems to be realizing, but we're going to undo that right quick. I think that we're going to maintain some tensions here that seem like they're being resolved, or at least not resolved, but like we're going to come to an agreement on how we're going to deal with them in this episode. And we're just going to do away with that right quick. So when I think about what this episode actually does, it doesn't strike me as like a really momentous, memorable episode in the way that there are some scenes from other episodes that really, like, the visual of it really hits me. Because I think those get bumped up because you have a sense of location, a sense of space, a sense of Felicity driving out to Southampton to have this big speech. You know, like, there are these moments that I think help with the previous episodes that for me, this one just sort of blends a little bit more, but it's very strong. And so I wanted a rating here that felt strong, but not stand out.
What did you rate the breakup kit? I thought you were like
I put that as a 9.1.
Okay.
And that one is an episode for me. I didn't want to put it at a 10 because I thought about my other 10s and I didn't think it was quite there. But there's no mistaking the breakup kit. Like, you know, if you say the breakup kit to me, I know where we are in the story very clearly. And so it brings back a real sense for me of like what's going on, what I'm feeling. It makes me feel for Noel. It makes me feel for Felicity. It makes me feel for Ben in a really strong way. And this feels like, yeah, continued angst. This is the problem we've been having for a long time. And it's just another version of it with like a slightly different day-to-day activity of the same problem.
That's so unfortunate because it does seem like everyone opened up and there was resolution and boundaries, and the fact that they're just going to walk all that back is very upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess I felt like, and it surprised me that I felt, well, I don't know. I think that they did a pretty good job of going there with us in the last episode where there's like those really open fights happening and people are really saying what's on their mind, at least with the Felicity, Ben, Noel trio. And like seeing Avery get the boot finally. For me, it felt like there was a lot of honesty in the last couple episodes, and especially the last one as well. It's just, yeah, I mean, I do think that the difference in rating here comes from what I know is coming up, where you don't have that to work with.
Yeah.
Because I do think if I'm looking at the Noel speech at the end of this episode, that would rate higher for me if I thought that were his final answer.
Yeah.
It's not. So, in fact, well, I don't know. We're going to see them start to walk it back next episode. So, like,
awesome. Lasted less than an episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Is all of season 4 going to be this? No. But they haven't squeezed every last drop out of this like Ben versus Noel debate right now. And yeah. So I bring that in with me. I think it takes a little bit of the punch out of Noel saying we're done if you know we're not done.
Yeah, that's fair. That is
but I love that he said it, and I want him to say it, and I want him to be done.
I just don't want him to do it in that jean jacket.
Yeah, well,
I know.
hey, the good news is maybe you'll get future opportunities to get an I'm done. I can't remember how it works.
You're like, how many times does this guy?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really remember how it works. And I can't promise he's not wearing a jean jacket. I have no promises to make to you, Fish. Not a single one. That's it.
Right.
8 out of 10 giant valves, 10 out of 10 clubs. I'm blown away. This is a 10 for you. I'm very happy. Your 10s are in the funniest places.
Look, hey, we had a valve. We had the hottest scene of the entire series so far. I mean, I'm just saying, like, when I look back on this series, that scene is going to be one I remember, along with Ben on the Ducati. You know, I mean, I've already forgotten the name of this episode, so that's not going to help with anything. But right. But when I think back on scenes I'm going to remember, that one is going to be there.
I mean, I will say, as much as I said that this doesn't have like a real like visual memory for me, the turning of the valve, I've been looking forward to that for a while. Okay.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. But
Fair
although
enough.
I actually spent a long time talking about it. But
I mean, it goes with much saying.
Yeah, it went with a lot of saying.
But also the scene where Noel closes his eyes in the bathroom is going to stick with me. I mean, those scenes are as memorable to me, I think, as the scene where Ben is watching Molly across the street talking to James. I mean, these are scenes that I am going to remember. Am I going to remember, like, the shoebox or necessarily that it was beef stew? Maybe not. I'm going to remember that house, though. That was a very impressive house.
Yeah. It's just occurring to me because Lawrence Trilling did the one with the Molly James scene, right?
Mm-hmm. I
So
like him.
Maybe he likes a good montage.
Oh, that's, yeah. Could be.
Right? Because I think we've been seeing a bit of that. I'm just I was just looking up to see who did Marzipan Boxers. No, that wasn't Lawrence Trilling. Okay. Maybe try though. I was hoping that there would be a through line there. But Lawrence Trilling did the fugue.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, I don't know. Well, I was looking through for the through line, and I just wanted to think about the Marzipan Boxers. Okay, so
I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
Sadly eating the head of the Mars. And there are just things that are going to stay with us. The dead rabbit scene.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to change our way of watching this show forever.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Well, folks, we've told you what we think, but we want to know what you think. We are in a post-Avery era right now. Okay. It's raining men, not Averys.
I mean, some would say it's raining water, and this was a poorly titled show.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. I feel your pain, but we want to know what you're thinking, audience. So send us your feedback. Tell us what you think. Share. Do you hate Molly as much as Fish? I don't know. Where you stand with all the stuff that's happening? How are you feeling about DeForest? Tell us your cold takes, your hot takes, all of it, your rainy takes. We don't know. Write to us at themelissafish@gmail.com. That's Melissa with 1 L, 2 S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. I couldn't help but think that sometimes I just talk. You know, like when I was inviting them, all the things they could share, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time, guys, but we want to know what you think. So also, if you want to get into the conversation with other Felicity fans, you could actually do that. And how do you do it, you ask? You go to @Felicity Podcast, find us on Instagram. Lots of fun people, big fans of the show, talking about Felicity there. Be part of the conversation. And if you want to know when we drop our next podcast or when we drop any podcasts, you can sign up for our newsletter. Check your show notes wherever you're listening to this podcast, and you will see a link to sign up for our newsletter there. And last but not least, while you're doing that, go see if wherever you're listening to this allows you to rate or review this episode or this podcast in general. Why? Because there are other people who enjoy the show, Felicity, who don't even know that this podcast exists, but they could if you rate or review it, and they could find out what it's all about. So that's the move. So, Fish, next episode is called The Last Summer Ever.
Oh.
What do you think is happening? And I feel like we've given you some advantages.
Yeah. I mean, you have spoiled a couple of things for me. So, summer, huh? Well, I guess that Noel graduates, since he did refill the TP. And, gosh, is this the last episode?
Yes.
The second to last. So this is the season finale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then, I mean, Felicity's going to have to figure out what she's doing for the summer. And
it's not going to be Boulder.
It's not going to be Boulder, which I'm, like, still crying inside about. It's painful.
I know you had your heart set on it.
It really was, like, everything. I should have taken points off for that. So, last summer ever. I mean, we know that Noel's already going to start walking all his stuff back. So, and we know Ruby's baby showed up. I mean, they waited until the finale? I mean, you said she showed up at some point in the season. You did not tell me it was the last episode of the season, so I had to guess that Ruby's baby was showing up for every episode. I'm just realizing how funny that is now.
When I spoil you, is it a favor or is it a crime?
I think it's a crime, but also one that you should not be jailed for. You should be rewarded.
Sometimes it makes it so that when I think to myself, should I spoil Fish on this? I think about how much you would squirm and how much I want you to squirm and how much I want everybody to hear it. That's it.
Oh my
That's how
God.
I make these judgment calls.
It's we're friends. Yeah, we love each other.
It's been the running bit of the season and you didn't even know it.
I didn't. No, I did not. What the hell? So Ruby's baby comes back with Ruby and convinces Noel to stay in New York.
Parish.
Where he will somehow continue to pursue Felicity, which is going to be very sad for everyone. And then Ben is going to get his hero complex on and get a little too close to Ruby and the baby. And then Felicity's going to run to Noel in the wake of that. And then she's going to have to make a decision about what to do for the summer, whether to stay with her friend Noel in New York or travel to Boulder with Ben and Ruby and her baby, because that's where they're going to be.
Huh,
hey, it is my thing, and if I want Boulder in it, I'm going to pretend Boulder's in it until next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a journey
you've
gone on there.
Yep. Yeah.
I think
this is what happens when I don't get to rehearse things. This is my thought process.
That's my favorite thing. I just enjoy. This is what we all want to see. We want the fresh takes, the stream of conscious. Look, half the time I'm saying stuff I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth. All right. So like you were very coherent just then. I love it.
Was
Bold
I? Was I
takes.
really?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so definitely listen to this podcast that Melissa doesn't know she's doing. And and I
Yeah.
just sort of make up. Great. And tell other people about it.
Yeah. um and if it ever goes wrong, we can just blame Valve E. Howard.
That's true. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, you love him so much. It seems like you're trying to make him
But
like
he messes with time.
yeah,
You know,
he
it's like
does.
it's a superpower, and also you could just bring it all back to that if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell if you think he's sort of like a trickster, like a lovable trickster Valve that sometimes he mucks things up, but you're still just obsessed with him.
Yeah. I mean, I love the power that he had in this
Oh,
episode, the way he really brought people together.
got
For
it.
them to then be torn
Got it.
apart when they weren't in his context anymore. Um,
All right. It's
I
fair.
love that he's kind of been wearing an invisible cloak for the
Mm.
entire show
Well,
since
maybe.
season
We're
one.
not sure.
Hard to say, guys. We need your
Yeah.
feedback on this. That's another reason to write to the melissafish@gmail.com. Yeah. All
I feel
right.
like we've
Well,
really fallen apart at the end here.
it's okay. We'll eventually roll around to an end. So the last summer ever, that's where we head next. I feel like it'll blow your mind. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They got a lot of big stuff happening. It
Ooh.
is a finale.
It is a
Um,
finale. That is true. I am ready. I am ready for it.
I don't know. I mean, I think I want to say compared to the season 2 finale, I think it kind of has more of a bang to it. The season 2 finale, my biggest image of that is like Felicity on the roof, pining for Ben, but having a summer alone. You know, it's like, okay,
Yeah, we
what did
didn't
that
see
tell us
that the
really?
same though. I saw her as taking on her own independence and like it being a really big step forward. But as I have learned, Felicity does not actually ever learn anything.
Well,
So they give you these moments and then they just take them away.
but I also think in the context of a finale, was that like a must watch first episode of season 3 to see how this ends sort of a thing?
No, it wasn't a
No.
cliffhanger.
I want to say I think at the end of this season finale, you'll feel like, whoa, let's watch first episode of season 4 is what I want to say.
Okay.
I don't know. I think there's some moments there that'll be like, I don't want to say it's the same type of cliffhanger that we saw in season 1. I mean, that was like, does she say go to Berlin with Noel or, road trip with Ben? Like, I think that was the most cliffhanger of all cliffhangers, but season 2 felt like they thought, I don't know if we're coming back for season 3.
No.
Let's make people feel okay about this. Season 3,
All right.
I think they're like setting up for more.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I am looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, just as you all start thinking, like, will they ever end?
I think they've been thinking that for a while.
For season 3, episode 16, will it ever come to a conclusion? Are we in an alternate time space where we're having counseling sessions every 3 days or 1 week apart, but Melissa and Fish are still at Dean and Deluca having the same conversation? I don't know, guys, but I guess we'll sort that out. Anything else we have to cover here, Fish?
I can't imagine.
That's hard to imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, Fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye everyone.